What's up, Fortnite fam? Sundown here, and today we're going to answer the question, what is meta? Everyone is always talking about the term meta, but what does it actually mean, and what does meta look like in Fortnite? Meta is actually an acronym for the term most effective tactic available. But what does this mean in practice? Meta, at its core, is utilizing the tools and strategies that make it easiest for the player to succeed. Utilizing meta minimizes the burden on the player to feel like they need to make ridiculous plays and allows them to maximize their efficiency. So what has the meta been in Fortnite, and how have we gotten here? A lot of the initial innovation started around building, with credits to Myth starting off the trends of 1x1s and building up for high ground advantage. From there, the building aspect really took off, and we saw so many great leaps in player tech and innovation. From Symphony and Mr. Savage's incredible edit plays to the advent of coning other players in order to get an advantage, we've seen the meta around building shift dramatically from the beginning. However, building isn't the only place where tactics are ever evolving. We've heard of the spray meta, which was dominated by high rate of fire weapons to create pressure. We've also seen the wall buster or thwifo meta, where players utilize heavy sniper, double barrel, and hand cannons to violate the previous safety of their opponent's 1x1s. And we've seen tons of additions to mobility, allowing players to constantly come up with new and innovative ways to rotate around the map. With players finally getting their sea legs under them in Season 8, we've seen huge developments in the meta. With the addition of ballers, geysers, cannons, and the volcano, there's a ton of new strategies developing that players are taking advantage of. And let's not forget the flint knock that is just now starting to be utilized in very cool ways to gain an advantage.
We see Steen's able to utilize this flint knock to get up on the building, and he gets the high ground behind him.
We're excited to see what else Season 8 will bring, and who will finally crack the code to find the most treasured meta.
To the Luxe Cup, NA East action. Golden Boy Sundown here as we're going to call the fun, and it's going to be a good time here. We got some great players. We had some great matchups yesterday on NA East, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing if the East Coast is, in fact, the Beast Coast. Like that?
I absolutely loved it. We've seen high quality gameplay coming out from there, and normally we talk about how it comes down to every match, every point counts, every victory royale points. We saw it coming down 4 tiebreakers into EU. We've already crowned 3 regional champions. Brazil actually has been moved a little back in the time spot, so they're going on about midway through right now. NA East as well have had about an hour and a half to queue up, so we're going to start grabbing some of those matches and getting you guys into the games as fast as possible.
That's right. So we should talk about EU real quick, because I did see on Reddit that people were a little confused about a couple of things. So I think that we should probably explain it. So Osmo and Milan, they tied at everything with Mongro and Mitro, but Mongro and Mitro still won. And why was that, Sundown?
So Osmo and Milan had actually ended up playing 1 more games, and looking at the Luxe Cup official tiebreakers, the way it goes through, it's total points scored. They were tied there. And then total victory royales in the session, tied there. They both had 1. Total eliminations was then 61 points. So now the rest of their points were scored basically off of the play, or only off of the placements, and then as it comes through, the average points per match, which ends up equating to the lower placement, which was that 4th one. So reading through the rules, it's average placement per match in the session. Because of the average points going through, playing one less match, that means their placements were mathematically better, breaking that down. So it's the difference of just staying in the server a little bit longer, being slightly more efficient with your use of that time in the matches. And you know, a lot of players talked about, well, like, hey, if you're not able to play all 10 of those matches, you're not maximizing efficiency. In this case, it ended up being more beneficial to them, right? It's owning that one of those tiebreakers in there. And the difference being, if Milan and Ozma had clutched out one more of those victory royales, they would have got it. If either one of them had had one more elimination, just one more point, it breaks the first and the third tiebreaker. So
that's nuts. Every
single one of these interactions matters when you get down to it. So let's check and see how these players are scoring the points.
That's right. So it's very simple here. A victory royale will net you +3, but we might as well start from the eliminations, because for every elimination you manage to snag yourself 1 point. But then from there you get into top 12. You get 3 points for going into top 12. And then after that, each placement that you hit, so top 7, top 3, and then the victory royale is added on top of that. So that means that you can come out with a game with 10 points and whatever eliminations you manage to accrue. So benefits those players that like to get hyper aggressive, that like to just go in there and just slay it out. But it also, of course, as always, placement is king, vital points. And then they're going to be playing for the prize money here. $5,000 for NA East goes for first place. Second and third take home $3 grand. Fourth and fifth take home $2 grand, and then so on and so forth. And you know, I think that for a lot of these players, while the prize money is great to have, you know, you can pick up some nice skins and stuff, right? Maybe take your mom out to a nice dinner. Who knows, right? Be good to your mom, kids.
Absolutely.
What I think this is more important is the lead up to the Fortnite World Cup. Millions of dollars up for grabs. And for a lot of these duos, they're going to be prioritizing the duo section of the competition. I've seen a lot of folks being like, I don't even know if I'm going to go solo. I might just do only duos and then see how I do. So lots of pressure for these players here to perform very well, place within like the top 100, prove that you have what it takes, and then of course continue to improve for the Fortnite World Cup.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. That is in 2 weeks, April 13th and 14th, for that first online open qualifier. And if you're just joining us, we've changed how we're jumping into the matches. So we pull some of these full server replays, then we go in from Circle 5 onwards. So this is a little bit of preview of some of the matches we're looking at jumping in. And don't forget, if you're playing on Sunday, we could be in your matches. And if you have any friends or streamers you know who are watching, let us know when they're on screen. Drop their emotes in the chat. Tweet us out saying like, hey, I saw my boy and he did something sick. It was really cool. Let us know, because we want to see those moments. We want to show you really awesome Fortnite gameplay as much as we can, getting through these games into the end game and just showing what it's all about.
That's right. We've had some great matches, man. The EU side of things has been amazing for finals, but then yesterday, NA East brought the thunder. We had some great games there as well, and I know we're going to be getting ready to jump into the action as soon as possible. And once that happens, we're going to be off to the races here. Look forward to seeing how some of the big names are going to show up here. I believe Bizzle and Demo will be in this group, so these are some of the names that you'll be recognizing. But let's just jump right into the action. It's time to start our first game of the day. And we find ourselves over at the snowy Alps of our beautiful island. And for our current in-game leaders, we got Jojo Pion, Noob, Paroa. You also have Godkicks, and Tim Burt took your girl.
Timber out
there.
Timber.
Yeah, oh, Timber took your girl. Okay, well,
no,
Timber.
He took my grill.
Took your grill.
I bought a really nice one last week. I was wondering where it went. Timber,
you gotta stop stealing people's grills, dog.
But let's see here, as these guys are pinned up against the storm. This is that gatekeeping we were talking about. CRS shots immediately coming out and then converting that into a knockdown. Can they pick up the elim? Now, look in the bottom right-hand corner. We're down by Happy Hamlet, about as far south as the circles can go. So these rotations are going to be very dangerous. A lot of kind of variable terrain, but sometimes these mountains can be difficult to build at. As Jojo put a great shot coming out there, Golden Boy.
And I also did like the placement of that floor above him, just to make sure he didn't get shot from above, and also gave him that little added coverage that he would need. He had his teammate having his back. They were able to immediately remove that ramp, and then from there it was just a wrap. That was just really well done from them. And that's going to be 5 eliminations for JoJo and his teammate Trav here. So that means 5 points on the board, but they're not quite there yet to placement. We have a long way to go. 29 duos still going, 51 players in this server, Sundown.
And one thing I do want to talk about is the difference of expected play around the ballers between EU and NA. Generally, we see NA favors safer rotations, utilizing those ballers, any vehicles they can, to just get the placement points. EU, on the other hand, we saw them constantly taking shots, not letting them rotate through. So I'm interested to see how much of that carries over. Because yesterday, while we had 1 or 2 pretty baller-heavy games at the end, but as the action gets picked up, Trav gets picked up right there by Mullen.
I can't believe Trav went in there and just tried to push that fight, and his teammate's going to be right next to him as well. And now Malon's going to try and hold this one off, going to be down to 47 HP. Try and force his way through here, and Trav ends up getting eliminated, and as well as Jojo Pion. That was the player that pushed that Malon. Good job from him, picking up 2 eliminations for his trouble.
Yeah, and it was actually really good that Malon was the one to get both the confirms there. Otherwise, he would have been hurting. Yeah, was so hurting. Getting that siphon going off that allows them to hold on to so much of this utility they have here, Golden Boy. Look at all those potions.
They have so many survivability items. Those ballers down low, you saw those. Those look like they were getting banged up quite a bit, but now we're going to zip on over here to Lags and Bellis. Lags just picked up 2 of his own there onto Disrupt, and I believe his teammate there. And nicely done onto Baydog. Baydog unawares.
And he's doing this with a blue tack right now. Doesn't even have a pump. Some players like to kind of knock on it a little bit, but when you're this close, this tight quarters, we talk about the running joke is you kind of have to be able to smell your opponent for the tack to actually do damage to them. But when you're this tight on top of players, he's able to put it to good work, picking up 3 or 4 elims there. But Ops traded out for a pump, but Sway Kenny taking him out there.
Yeah, Sway Kenny had his number up above. I'm just going to say this, Sundown. I'm a tack boy. Okay? I know people will judge me for that, and I'm okay with it.
I'm not against it in the early game. I like the high rate of fire there if I can't execute on the quick swap or the opponent doesn't give it, but otherwise definitely got to give the 1 pump.
I'm just anticipating that I'm always going to miss shots. That's just, so the faster I can fire,
well,
the better.
These guys don't have to worry about that. As you see Bolt looking up and so many targets in the sky, as you see players opting to utilize what utility they have. Kid Developer going down there. Bolt, somebody we talked about the other day, making a name for himself as he takes out Tannery as well. That's 2 knocks from the sky.
Oh, the rocket, the explodes. The legendary rocket launcher just destroys that structure, deletes that player. And now Bolt will continue to have the ultimate high ground here alongside his teammate Netzer. And that's another one as well. Just pops right on in there to do some damage, but he's going to be so weak. 18 health there. Does get that elimination, though, onto Kid Developer, which is going to bring him back up a little bit and give him an opportunity to reset.
And he should have a second one coming through, hopefully to top him all the way up, but also going to use the campfire and the mini. So if that conversion comes out, but a rift that was, no, that was his. It was his teammates. Yeah, it did get confirmed. He had a rift previously in the utility bar. I'm not sure why he decided to do that, though, because it was weird. Pretty safe on that side. I think just looking for that circle rotation as we move back over the hamlet.
All right, well, look at the carnage continuing to take place in front of our eyes. We got Nifty as Trog. We saw Nifty earlier on. Prepping the Trog, well, he's going to be able to beam one player right there with that legendary pump. That gun so powerful and puts it to good use. Just going to reset a little bit here and just take it easy and just try and hold this off. He does find a couple of targets in front of him, but he's not going to try and get too crazy just yet here. He wants to just get into his spot, but he will be a little bit safer if he wants to take an engagement.
Yeah, and Bolt is very low on this mid-tarp, as is Synops. They're looking to try and catch somebody in a wall that they do not own so they can get a quick play. I actually am very scared of an RPG use here because it could go off, but he gets it on the level 1 Crook. Level 1 Crook back to lobby, but dropping down, has the Chug Jug right there, not going to be able to get it off. The Confirm will give him a little bit of more off the siphon as Bolt finally gets cleaned up, and we're into the top 12, so everybody getting 3 placement points as well.
Synops does not have any shields, but doesn't care because Synops is going to push the fights and does manage to pick off one to give him that added health. But look above us here as we do have that clash for the ultimate high ground. We have Timber, we also have Felix, and they actually opt to drop down low, and they're going to go to that like more mid area there. And I think one of the other players we saw earlier on was going to be hanging out above in the ultimate high ground. But here's Timber, who took the grills. He's looking to take the W's here with his teammate Felix.
Yeah, and now we're into top 7, so 5 placement points for everyone. 9 points already for these two as they got forced off of ultimate high, but have a decent loadout in terms to be able to run the middle tarp. Nikisi is able to pick up Netzar and take ultimate high as David is challenging towards him. No, they're not jumping off into space as we catch up a little bit. You see Spades picking up Sway Kenny. Top 5 now, duos, 8 players remaining.
Slowing down here for Timber and Felix. They're playing the Storm. They're just playing their angles. There was a player right next to him. You saw him right through that fresh build. They just got to hold that down. Good trap placement too, and that actually forces someone to push forward. They have no choice because how small this storm circle is. They have these traps laid down, so if you do get through, you got to watch out for the walls or else you're going to get trapped.
Yeah, and that gets them top 3 as well. So a high-value Elim as he knocks down Nikisi. Can he convert onto the Siphon? He needs to get that as he gets back into the circle. No, just going to let the Storm pick that up. We'll get the health back in a second.
And they know exactly where he is. They know exactly where he is. They're going to be able to line this one up. They just got to play this one smart. And all they have to do is worry about the one player that's going to... He's just going to go out and he's going to blow him up with the Splodes. Victory royale for Timber and Felix. And that was a great ballsy play there from Timber. Just decided, I'm going to go out into the outside. I have this legendary Splodes. I'm just going to use this one and remove this problem once and for all. Divine, goodbye. And that was a 9 elimination game for that duo.
Yeah, great play from them there, picking up 19 points with the victory round included, but also shout out to Overtime having their duo Spades and Nikisi as well as Divine making it all the way to the end game, but we're not stopping, dropping right on over, continuing to roll these NA East matches as we look at our current game Elim leaders, Pluto FN, P-God, who we've been seeing a lot of recently, Riftmo as well, Raylapse and Leo rounding it out with 4, 3, 3, 2, and 2 Elims, but Proctorial and Postflow right now on the ultimate low ground and super far away from this rotation, but need to be careful as these players are rotating through.
Yeah, it's going to be just Proctorial by himself here. He sees his player. Waiting it out. He's going to get through. He uses that heavy snipe to try and remove that wall, and he gets control of it right away. Looks for another one. 1 HP in a dream, though. He needs to thirst his player instantly. Takes out Blake, but there's still going to be one more player that he has to deal with, as well as another player that was going to be right next to him. And that was really making the best of a bad situation there for Proctorial. And if they would have been able, Proc would have been able to pick off the 2. Could have changed the complexion of that fight completely, but it was such a rough one. We're going to just zoom on over to a few of these other players.
Yeah, he unfortunately got pinched right at the wrong moment, right as he decided he was going to push the 1v2, the other player coming from behind. But Riftmo actually got picked up as well, got sniped rotating through, so not going to be able to capitalize on that. Now looking at the state of the lobby, 27 duos remaining, 44 players. We talked about how dense these are going to get, Golden Boy, in these duo situations as everyone is looking for those points. Great shot coming up, but again, immediately flanked. Will they be able to convert on the knock?
They didn't see that they lost the wall to their side, so they got to be careful about that. Because guard, just like we're seeing once again, they're really focused on what's going on in front of them, as they should be, because those are eliminations that will give them the siphon, be able to bring them within that 100-100 health area. But they also got to be mindful of those players that are putting pressure on them over on the side. They got to get ready for this rotation, but we're going to go on over to another part of the map here with some more actions taking place.
Yeah, as we move to the opposite side of the circle, we see the rotation come out. These are the players who are going to have to move. Now looking at the bottom right, they're on the far side of the circle. That means the most movement is going to come out. They're trying to set up their mats, as you see, is only on 44 builds, trying to find a shot in between. Will it end up landing? No, opting to use the stink to push him back instead. Yeah,
the stink play was really smart there, but you saw that pressure was coming in from Leo, and Leo did not have an answer. His only thing was just to force him back, to kind of delay the inevitable of this player trying to get through to this wall here. But now they're going to charge on out. You got Leo and P-God working together. Nice pick there on Enigma. Way to be aware of what's going on around you. Looking for another one. That player, he's basically just going to have barely any shields. If actually he's going to be down. And that was Gang, who's going to get removed from this one. P-God by himself, and that will do it. They're going to be removed from the lobby as well.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting decision to drop down and thirst that. He was already doing okay on health, and the Storm would have picked it up. I would have taken the safer rotation. We talked about how dangerous that backside of the circle can be, as we see a lot of players opting to just rift even though it's a flat surface, they just want to, you know, pop the parachutes, get the safe rotation as Link picks up Dreams to get close to the top 12, but they're landing on this high ground, Golden Boy.
Oh, and that was a great placement of the trap there. It's going to do the damage and force that player down. Pusher, brilliant work there. Had the trap, took full advantage, and now is going to reap the rewards of being able to pick up, legendary AR, as well as some much needed ammo and resources. Bear in mind, they have that ultimate high ground, and they're going to look to put this to work. They have rockets. They could put down some more bullets as far down as they possibly can. This is looking great for this duo.
Yeah, and Super Evan and Godnik also another pair to keep an eye on. Godnik did get knocked, but Super Evan still running around the low ground, but a great rocket sliding through there. Will they be able to find these birdies in the sky as they start to kind of toggle dive? But you're going to run out. Slazer getting picked off there, sent all the way down. Will their duo be able to pick her up? Nope, unfortunately, Aluette going to confirm that as we get closer to that top 12 situation. What great shots, Golden Boy.
Yeah, really just picking up these gliders in the sky. Once again, now they're going to be at 100-100, and you know, you love to see it when you got yourself that cheeky glider redeploy and you get knocked down. It's something that's going to help you out if you're trying to play for that ultimate high ground. And just as I say that, two more players trying challenge up above here to take this away from Big Fizz and Pusher. And Bag Fizz is just going to hold this one off as long as he can here. Use that silenced AR, but they're going to lose it. And it's going to be CJ and Wood. We saw them yesterday. This is such a great pair. When they work together, they shred through
on this low ground action, knowing there's a lot of players roaming around. CJ and Wood trying to work their way down and get a piece of the action right here. This is absolute madness. A couple ballers, 1, 2, 3, 4 ballers still left in such a tight circle, but Wood and CJ just have run to the lobby from the high ground.
Yeah, as soon as they were able to get that control, I mean, the complexion of this game changed completely. And there's more eliminations that have gone through here. And we're going to be far into the placement side of things, far into the top 7 as well, as we're now left to just 5 duels remaining. 8 players are going to be scattered about in this lobby. Bag Fizz trying to just circle around here and give himself some coverage. Meanwhile, Pusher, he's engaging in a fight up above, and he's doing such a good job of keeping himself alive and his teammate. They have to tear through these builds here, Sundown, because they keep getting boxed out.
They do, but they're picking up eliminations at such critical time with the Siphon to keep topping back up.
They got full control of that. Oh my word, that was so well done. He saw that he didn't have the wall, but the player was going to have to run through no matter what. So he ended up getting full control of the walls around him, and then as soon as that player went out, there was no area, no space for them to go through.
And CJ and Wood are actually engaging with Zella. One pumps on the high ground. They will pick it up. Now it's a straight 2v2. We've seen Bag Fizz and Pusher running most of the lobby, but CJ and Wood have maintained high ground. When they opted to drop down and pick up elims, they kept control. Who will be able to execute on this situation? This is so tense. It's high ground versus ultimate low. Who can win it, Golden Boy?
And I do like that little bit of advantage that they have of being inside of the cornfield, right? I mean, you know, it's a little bit of the details here and there, but they can decide to push out, get a little bit of, get clever, because you know that Wood and CJ are going to have a difficult time seeing where they are. Also, I like that they're just pyramiding and placing those floors above them, giving themselves as much coverage as possible. This is going to come down to the wire here, folks. And honestly, if you look at the life lead, it's got to go to Wood and CJ because they have more health. And I actually...
Combined they do, but Pusher has the most maximum, so they need to send somebody to challenge. Bag Fizz is going out to challenge now, but he goes a little early. He gets knocked, so they can thirst that for the maximum health advantage, which CJ does now, but Pusher's still maintaining the storm.
And they just got to charge him. They just got to charge him. Wood's going to go down. CJ's going to be on the other side. He's going to jump over to the other end there. Pusher, though, is going to put the shot down. And goodbye, CJ. Wood and CJ have been such a great duo, but man, Pusher and Bag Fizz, they played that one so well in that mid game. And let's take a look at the replay once again, because Pusher knew that there weren't many options that he had, but he nails that shot there with the legendary pump.
That pump being the huge difference there, and the option to drop down from the high ground doesn't always pay off, but sometimes it lets you run the lobby like that, going from 9 to 13 elims so fast and then getting the victory route. But we don't stop there. Right back into the next match. The difference of 18 HP doesn't matter. Going through now, 40 players remaining, 23 duos. Vexa sitting on 6 elim. Ghost, Ryan, one of the young control lords, on 5. The Uzi, a very aggressive player we've seen a lot of. Keox, and then the Real Heavens TV as well, 3 elims. So a lot of aggro play coming out in this lobby. A little less dense packed than some of the other ones we've seen, and a little more elim top heavy.
Also, the bush play.
Oh yeah, all about the bush. Hey, you got a bush emote? Toss it in the chat right now. I want to see those bushes
with the Luxe. You know, I like that quite a bit, but In any case, so that was going to be a cleanup there. The first elimination for Quills, Simpei. This is the duo to look out for as we start this one. And he's also going to be dragging this pump as far as he possibly can so his teammate can go and nab that one. So now they both have an epic and a legendary pump. High damage value that you're going to get out of both of those weapons.
Yeah, I really wanted to try and kind of call attention to dragging that, because that's not a skill a lot of players really call attention to, but being able to carry those weapons, carry those mats over, and just kind of run them through in clutch situations like that can sometimes make the difference. Sometimes the difference of a green to a legendary or to an epic pump is all you need in the endgame situation.
Yeah, because if it's the epic or legendary pump versus, say, you know, like a blue tack or a green pump or a blue pump even, that just changes that whole game there. And now we're going to be on board with Fajita-Latifa.
And his partner, Cardigan Sweaters. Just a great duo pairing right there as Fajita is able to
and Cardigans. Those are two things that I don't know if they mix, but this is the Luxe Cup, baby, so we just got to accept it.
Yeah, and a great shot from him there. You see the player instantly go to rotate, putting that high ground to work. And we talk about angle advantages. What we mean by that is when you're on the side or in the zone already, and players have to rotate towards you, and you have the high ground, able to take advantage of the players, utilizing those launch pads, and even sometimes the rift to go, but particularly the slower glider redeploy. If somebody just builds off and jumps out, I mean, that's free picking sometimes.
Those players in the gliders have really been targets. And for a lot of the players, just as we're seeing right now, there's no reason for them not to go after them.
Like, look at that. That's free. Free real estate right there, man. Fajita-Latifa picking up third elim and dropping another player trying to get one of those quote-unquote safe rotations. But that's not so safe when you have a player up there with that level of rifling skills. And we've seen him do this over and over again. But now let's take a look at what's going on this mid-ground tarp rotation. The backside of the circle, we always talk about this being a hot spot.
And over to Quills and Simpei once again. I wonder if that shotgun situation could pay off for these two players in the end, because Quills does have that epic shotgun. Simpei has that legendary pump, and they're going to wait inside of their box. There's no reason for them to try and get aggressive. And we also have some big names here as well. We got Landjock and Punisher are going to be hanging out in the box right next to them. Neighbors, if you will, Sundown.
Yeah, Caliber as well, another very good player, somebody you're probably not as familiar with, but places in pretty much every single open event that's been there. But the Complexity boys are about to try and push over, and Quills and Senpai are getting ready to try and push them through. They know they're right next to them. They want to try and be on the wall. The edit comes through. Can they execute a great shot coming out from there, picking up the near instant elim on that player? But I don't think that was the Complexity boys. They had dropped down. They were in a pairing, so it would have been a knock. But good elim coming out from Quills and Simpei there.
Wiped out with those shotties. And then there goes actually that was going to be GK Orcus. Okay, so Orcus is going to be right above them. Quills and Simpei, be careful now. Uzi popping up there on the action feed, and Caliber, goodbye. He's going to get removed, and another player right next to him. And Quills has to play this one smart now and needs to get back into that safe area.
Oh, and his teammate walled them off right there. It's forcing him to take 2 more ticks, but now they have control of the mid-tarp. No other players around them. And look at that little alleyway over there with Fajita-Latifa, Cardigans, and then Swinger as well. They're all ramping out and directly above each other. You have the Complexity guys on the low ground. Quills and Simpei going for ultimate high here, but Stretch and Bumboy, also known as Ethan, directly challenging them.
So they're going to go for that ultimate high ground there, and Bumboy knows this. So the question that Bumboy has to ask himself is, do I want to concern myself with this for right now or worry about it a little bit later on? We're going to go over now to Fernie and Trev, and that was a nice shot there on Keoks. The elimination, goodbye. Number 3 for Fernie there.
And Trevhold actually has somebody else down, so he's waiting for that one to get converted over if it does for the Siphon coming through, which will put him in a good spot. But this launch pad is a little bit questionable. Yeah, Trevhold is challenging now for ultimate high, dropping down just behind Just Nasty. Does has the glider redeploy, as so much is going on, not only on the mid-ground tarp, but also in the low-ground tarp as we get into the top 12. Everyone on 3 placement points.
Oh, I wouldn't expect anything different here. We got Ryan and Uzi. This is a duo that you certainly need to pay attention to, and they have picked up quite a few eliminations, Sundown. 11, 6 for Ryan, 5 for Uzi, but Ryan is going to get challenged, and he ends up falling to Bumboy, who pops up from right behind him, and he had no idea, just caught completely off guard there. And now Bumboy and Stretch need to get to a safe haven. They have to be careful now as they wait around the side. and you never know what you're going to find in these structures. Like, players can be creeping around corners, but they do get to some safety for the time being.
Yeah, and they know that player's there. They have this heavy snipe. They want to try and drop this player down. I think they saw him in the middle above. They see the builds coming out now. They're going to utilize the heavy snipe, trying to see if the player doesn't double wall off as the replay catches up. We're looking now to see top 3 is the next placement point. You see Uzi now on the mid-ground. Tarp is one of those solo riders. There's 2 of them going out. Trevel on the low ground as the other one. No, Fernie is with him. I'm sorry, it's the Complexity player. Punisher, who is the other solo rider. Everyone looking for top 3 as Quills and Simpei control the ultimate high.
Yeah, they still maintain this position, and this is working out nicely for them. 37 builds, though. 8 players are going to remain. 5 duos left in this lobby. They've gone past that top 7. They're going to continue to rack up some more points. Now, Stretch and Fernie are out of this, as well as Uzi. And that's just going to be Punisher, Bumboy, and then the duo of Simpei and Quills. And Punisher, is he going to try and push for this fight here? Bumboy's taking a lot of damage. He needs to get back into the safe zone. I don't think he's going to be able to do so. Stumbled on the steps. He's going to be so weak, and Punisher could punish him for that. And he does just that. But now it's going to be Punisher who's going to take that damage, and he flies away. And that is a wrap there. Okay, so I guess what he was trying to do was use the jump pad to then circle back around, maybe get the ultimate high ground, but that was an ambitious play to say the least. And it's going to be Quills and Simpei who pick up the victory royale.
Yeah, great job from there maintaining the high ground. What Punisher was looking to do, he looked to jump out and throw down the launch pad to jump around the side, but I think he sort of bonked his head there on the stairs, not losing all of his vertical mobility, but losing most of it.
He also didn't have the HP to do that as
well.
Yeah,
it was just a bit rough there, but we're going to jump right on into the next match, and this is a very dense circle right around one of those huge hillocks over by Paradise, so this can get super awkward very fast. 50 players in the match, 27 duos, so pretty much everybody has a buddy. Looking at the current game elim leaders, Quadra on 4, Lexi on 3, Fiorath on 2, Prism on 2, and Razor on 2. As Circle 4 is closing now, and we're on board with Void and Bo BR.
I was wondering if you were going to get that. Bo. It's a good name. It's a good name. I like Bo.
You know, I'm not a big fan of the name Bo, only because like the EAUs end up messing me up a lot. I'm not great with the enunciation type of thing, and then sometimes people catch me with rude jokes at times. But as we see here now, they are built up right on the side, and all of these players are going to have to rotate up. The Storm is going up this hill, which means all of these players are going to look to keep them out, and Straker and Tater are in a tough spot. Void trying to find something with the heavy sniper.
Hey, he's looking for the shot. See a lot of duos, what they've been doing is they'll time their snipes, destroy one, and then send that shot right on through, lining it up because some players think that they're protected. But then out of nowhere, you end up walking away with a haircut because you just get beamed at the top of your head. Then we got 7MZ and Slops over here. Just managed to pick up 1 elimination through the Storm. And okay. So I think they were just trying to hold back those players with the stinkers. He's going to have the terrain to be able to wrap around here and look for this player. But I'm fairly certain his teammate removed him from the equation. He's going to get some shots from above as well. So he needs to protect himself.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know why they're going super aggressive here. Like, they should just be hanging out since they're on the backside of this mountain. They're good. They're in the zone. They just need to wait. Look at the bottom right-hand corner. How many players need to go either up and over or around this mountain right now as that Storm is closing in?
Oh, they charged through to Razor. Razor tried to get out of there through the trap door, but he couldn't escape in time. And now they're going to snag themselves a rift to go. Some great mobility toward the late game here. 41 players remaining in this lobby. But what we've been seeing here are these players that think they're safe in their gliders. Those guys in the ultimate high ground, they ultimately destroy them if they're not careful.
Yeah, particularly as the circles start to get more restrictive, having less area in them, it makes it so much difficult to land when you rift a code, when you jump pad down, because there is a maximum dive height. It means you are forced to pull the parachute, and against players like this, doesn't matter if you have that faster speed, not from the glider redeployed, they can make you pay for it.
Make sure you use the codes there for Hunter and Trickery. Clearly, they want everyone to know. And now, oh, maybe you should.
Oh, I just thought it was their team. They're not on team code.
Ah, that's fair. Maybe they are.
But a great pickup for the Elim right there, utilizing that heavy sniper. We talked about its utility at long range to be able to punish people rotating. We talked about its utility as a wall buster, and they're demonstrating both right there. You see people trying to use that community launch pad, but building up over and denying some rotations as Hunter Vu does get knocked down. K is directly behind him, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ballers taking that early rotation, but doesn't look like there's too many more than that.
And a lot of wide open terrain to boot. So these ballers are just going to swing around like crazy. Other players looking to just get control of some of these walls. So this way they don't get caught off guard, get caught and then be surprised, which has happened so many times. And Tater and Striker just tunneling their way out of this one, giving themselves the coverage from behind as well. They're anticipating this. There's also just a lot of natural cover around here, but there's also a lot of resources. And there's going to be players cracking on through this wall here. And Tater's going to wait for it. He's going to hit 10-bit. Is sad. And his teammate, goodbye. That is sad. I feel bad for you, bud. But Tater and Striker, they saw that one developing right in front of them. But they're going to get blocked. And look at all of this. Sundown, these players are trying to scramble, get away from this storm. Their backs are against that blue wall, and they need to run away from this one.
And you see the players trying to utilize the baller to get to the other side. This is a very dense circle. We're not even into the top 12 yet, but a great shot coming out from Le Bush, able to pick that one up. The conversion will come through to top him off. As he gets an even better shot onto Cyrex Season, will he be able to find another, getting the conversion on Lumao? 3 Elims so fast, and the other player's right next to him. 147, will he be able to finish it off? No, Scrimlins actually gets away with it, dropping him right there. Leafer now trying to deny Boltzlater's pick up Imshoots from getting in, but he's just going to utilize the baller and get through. We have about 3 ballers who have just been allowed to rotate freely through into this top 9 now, not really getting challenged as everyone else was forced on such a hard rotation.
Yeah, those 4 ballers are going to be out on the floor here. Actually, 5.
Yeah, no, there's 6, but 2 of them are real hurting.
Might as well go for it and destroy them, just like you saw right there.
1, 2 going down, 3 going down. Yep, that's going to the end of that, but balling, rolling their way into a nearly top 7 placement. Gonna be happy with that. However, they should have plenty of mats to work with. The question is, were they able to get enough Elim points to make it worth it? And can they convert on their opportunity now to turn it into more, as ZM7 is getting pressured right here. But a better shot on the Broken, the player from Regal, going down there almost in the top 7.
And then look at this here, Sundown. You have this hill. You kind of have to 90 your way up this, right? Just go straight up. And ZM7, excuse me, is going to be outside of the storm. He's going to find his way back inside.
Nobody slides back down.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's so sad.
Man.
That's so unfortunate. That little lip right there. You hate to see that happen. Everyone has had that happen. And one of the most frustrating things, particularly when you slide down and then you're stuck in that free fall state against the wall, as Void is able to get away from that and build back up for the high ground. He's going to try and drop onto Quadra and Goofy, who are going to end up being the last 2 in this 2v1 situation, but he has high ground now.
This is going to be such a tall task here. Now look at this, right? If there's no flooring down below, it is all just a valley. So if you fall, that is it. GG. And Void is going to land right in front of them, and Quadra and Goofy, they're going to get the victory royale. Well done. 7 eliminations for them there. And that first place, they knew that they had Void basically done.
Yeah, but a great work from Void to rotate around and retake the high ground. But Quadra and Goofy executing perfectly together in that 2v1 situation and just showing their ability here to track the player, find him as he's coming down. And the team fire right away. They both just 2-tapping him. One with the pump, the other one with the AR. And just look at that run. These Paradise, it's so nuts trying to work through the natural structures, working back over the top of those hill crests, and just the amount of control to make sure that happens. Very well done from them there, but also just like a little bit of a Bible thump in the chat for MZ7, man. Everyone knows that feeling when you get pinned against the wall, when you have the 2 there and you're falling down. That's
it's a fail fish right there.
Oh, you're going to give him a little bit of, okay, give him a fail fish for that.
Give him a little bit of that spam fish love there.
That being said, very well done from Goofy and Quadra to execute on that 17 points for the 7 Elims and the victory royale. They're going to be happy there.
Yeah, and again, it really, I think Void and his teammate, they did everything they could to stay to survive to that point. But when we saw them, right, I think they were a squad that was at the low ground, so they managed to climb their way back up, try and reclaim that ultimate high ground. I just think that what's so crazy about going through Paradise, and you saw it there a lot, were, as you mentioned, the natural structures.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of fights that took place within those houses, and when those fights are happening and then you have that storm pushing in and then the only thing next to you is a wall or like a metal piece you don't own, it's like, you gotta make a decision. Yeah, and then they're just like trying to swipe through and just trying to push out, because it's going to take you a hot minute to be able to cut through that brick so you can get through and continue on to safety. That was just rough, man. That was absolutely insane, though. Great matchups on the NAE side. Let's take a gander at the standings and who is at the top, and it's going to be Aspect and Animal, Pika and Rux, names we've seen quite a bit, Aurora and Enpen, then Bizzle, Demo, Jamper, Paper, Chaotic and Nosh, then you got Dubs, Mega, Wrigley, Waffles, Glocky, Stoic, and then Potent and Thorny are in your top 10.
Yeah, great top 10 running out there. That's actually Icy, the player for Stoic. I want to give a shout out to Wrigley as well. Hamster Wrigley coming out with Waffles. Wrigley said we showed yesterday, came across with an amazing drop-down trap play right after we were giving him a little bit of props, showing up again today. But also, Aspect and Animal, qualified in first yesterday, have been pretty much one of the dominant duos in the game since they paired up, showing it here as well with a decent lead. Now, there's only about 50 minutes left for NA East 2Q. So it's going to get down to it, Golden Boy.
Dude, you know, there was a thread that popped up where people were like, Mongrel, Mitro, best duo in the game. But then, and don't get me wrong, I think Mongrel and Mitro, and let's jump into the action. I'll finish this point here, because hopefully we get to see Aspect and Animal when we watch these next few games. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's like, who really is that best pair? Like, Aspect and Animal, they're really good. They've performed consistently. Even Pika and Rux, another consistent pair. It's hard. It's hard to say who really are like. Oh, that great shot from a distance there. That never happens for me with the heavy AR, but sure.
Ooh.
Just some of these duos, man, have just been. They've been so impressive.
Yeah, but looking now at our current game Elam leaders, you have I Am Poppy at 4, Super Evan, Parallel Bars, PB and Jammies, and then Tezza all on 2. As you see, iCarry might as well put him up there on 4 as he picks up a quick 3 Elims right there. Great rifling skills, and then gonna utilize the Rift to try and reevaluate a quick dive down rotation and make the most of this.
And went for that legendary AR immediately, just upgraded from the heavy AR, which, mind you, is putting a lot of work with that item, iCarry, and hits. We'll keep a tab on them based on how they've been performing thus far. Got a couple more players here, Daxor and as well as Grazka, some other talented players here, Artsy and Midas. They're defending this one out, just giving themselves some vision. Take this one over.
Will he be able to find it? The other player is hiding basically on the other side of the ball and not even paying attention. Grazka, that's so unfortunate. Will Daxor be able to avenge him? No, Artsy now going to get the Elim, get all the mats from this, and also has a baller of his own down there. 44 players remaining, 25 duos. If you are just joining us, this is the grand finals for the NA East region of the Luxe Cup. The other 4 regions have wrapped up. NA West will be after that. That means Asia, Oceania, Europe. I believe Brazil is just now starting to finish as well. We'll get you those leaderboards once they are confirmed. NA East has about 50 minutes left to queue, and this is the top 3,000 players, top 1,500 duos sorted from yesterday. And this is how they score their points. Top 12 is +3. Getting to the top 7 is an additional 2 points. Getting to the top 3 is 2 points. And the Victory Royale duo gets 3 points, 10 total placement points. But each elimination being a point is a huge kicker, Golden Boy.
Yeah, players are just, they're chasing those eliminations now because of their value. That's one whole point that you're able to get. So when you see the players in the sky gliding, thinking that they're going to be able to descend to safety, they're getting beaten by players all around them. Now we're here with Gun Blast and Sam.
Lol Sampa.
Lol Sampa. Excuse me, Lol Sampa.
No, you're good. No worries. Got to get a little bit of scroll there. He's making the use of all of his characters there as they try and push in. He does own that wall now. I don't know if the other player does notice, decides to build the ramp, but not going to cover himself in time as Bruzzy picks that up.
The compact SMG is so good. And then Gun Blast, wisely so, is just going to get right back up to safety, drop down, owns all of these walls here, and can freely push out when he needs to.
Yeah, and one thing I want to note, look at where the circle is. Another very far south circle, and we're going to go directly over the top of Lucky. So similar now, we're going back over old builds, but also we're going to end up going through a lot of natural structures. What we mean by that is structures that are already on the map that aren't efficient and fast to farm, so it's really hard to get through them. A lot of them have 450 up to 500 HP. That's a lot of pickaxe swings.
And a lot of time wasted, which is what we saw earlier. Godnick, oh, that's rough. Gets hit with the stinkers. It smells.
Yeah, and Super Evan, his teammate can't do anything about it. If he goes near those stinks or the storm touches him, he's going to go down as well. Can't afford to give anything up there, and Voyle is going to convert on that as the community launchpad does get used. Everyone heading towards that top corner of Lucky Landing. He's hoping to bounce off the next one. You saw the player right there. That's so scary.
He was waiting. He's like, I dare you. I dare you. Jump on this launchpad. I'll make you pay for that one. Voyle, though, and Bruzzy. Bruzzy's out of this. Just Voyle. So he's all alone, and he's at 10 placements to get to that placement point there with 12 duos left in the lobby here, Sundown.
Yeah, but we've seen him do very well in 1v2 situations before. Voyle is a very good player, not necessarily the most consistent, but has a very big ceiling, and now we're starting to see a little bit of the marbles coming out there. A lot more ballers than we've seen previously. However, not sure how many more circles those will be allowed to stay out there, as the players are going to get hopefully an easier rotation this time with not a lot of variable terrain. Oh, as I say that, they go back over the one mountain in the area. Fiber and Nefrux on Trebian jumping right there.
That couldn't be a worst possible circle for them to have, as that storm is just going to continue to move forward to a really rough spot. You see that giant mountain right there, but Voyle did get the elimination on 2 HP Evil. Got a couple more names that are falling here. Fiber gets an elimination on Trevi, but Voyle continue to hold this one off. Player's gonna be right in front of him. That's Cremy. Goodbye. He's got to thirst him quickly so he can get that HP. It was also gonna be a half pop there, but there was no time for him to be able to grab that one unless he was able to snag that in time and we're just not catching it. But I don't think he managed to grab that in time, and that is a rough one to have to deal with. So he needs to look for these eliminations so that this way he can get some more shield, some more HP. He's gonna jump right in. That's not Mayo. Oh, but he falls down. But he did manage to survive that fall and has some shields to work with here. But this has just been a trial and tribulation for Voyle, who somehow manages to stay alive.
Yeah, and he gets himself into the top 12, so it's 3 placement points. Now we do see a decent amount of ballers here. Most of them are a little fractured, but they are getting themselves at least 3 points, so they will have a lot of mats to work with. As the player drops down directly in front of him.
He has no idea. That's nice. That works out wonderfully, right? Because you saw him try and use that. Oh,
he caught it with his face.
Oh, he caught the rocket with his face.
And he got a second one. He got Derek with that as well, so that puts him up to 8. Elims, Tristan Hip, and Jammies, 2 of the premier players. We've seen them in a lot of our events, but we still have 1, 2, 3 ballers, Artsy, Tolo, and Hardy, utilizing that to almost roll their way into a top 7. If Hardy gets sneezed on though, however, he will be exiting. So basically on 157 effective HP. If the baller gets touched, he's out. If anybody pickaxes him into the storm, he's out. One more duo needs to go down as Matt gets picked up, and that's it. Everyone gets 5 placement points at minimum. Hardy going down as well. Jumping going down as well.
There's just been so much carnage that has taken place here. Tristan Hip along with Jammies, they're still going to be in this one. But on the ultimate high ground, you have Teza and Gandhi Daba, who are going to be all the way up there, and they continue to put some more fire down onto the targets below. Gunblast has no more shields to work with, gets into a scramble there. He's going to see if he can come out on top now. He got RT in front of him. Little Sampa, his teammate is going to get chunked for a lot. He's going to have barely any HP remaining, and still Tristan and Jammies, they're looking pretty solid thus far. They're holding this mid ground, not really allowing anyone to try and challenge them in this area, so they'll know when players are below, but they also know that they have to deal with those players on the ultimate high ground.
Yeah, they're in a pretty good spot here right now. Is a 2v1 as Gunblaster does get picked up, and instantly right away they drop down. They're able to capitalize. Now it's just a straight 2v2. They're on ultimate low. Other players on ultimate high, about 2. No, just 2 times up. They ended it down. They're 1 level above Tristan. going out to try and challenge.
He's going for the shot there. This is a very ambitious play. He only has 20 HP, and he's able to nail the shot there on Gandhi, and he's got to survive inside of the storm. 50 HP. That player's going to be hanging out right above them. He's going to fall down, but Tezza wins the game at the last possible moment and secures it for him and Gandhi. Oh, man. Look at this.
I want to see it from Tezza's perspective because he opted to just stay with the storm while the other two challenged, knowing he has the HP advantage, and then when he drops down, getting the thirst onto Tristan just confirmed his HP going up, and then the ticks were going down. So while Tristan and partner were able to be super aggressive there, it kind of bit them a little bit. You know, him and Jamie's going a little too hard and not securing it, but we're going to roll right on over. We already see By Revi and Not Panda, two players who've been really making a name for themselves, and as we say that, Not Panda sitting on 9 elims right now. That is nuts. Followed by Apex Legend on 4. I'm Ang 4. The Guardy Party 2, River Dot on 2 as we're in Circle 4, closing in to Circle 5. A little bit of a less dense circle here, 26 players, 15 duos remaining, so they should have a little bit of room to work with, but probably in part to this duo's 11 elims early.
Yeah, 9 eliminations for one player in a stacked lobby like this. And when I say lobby, I guess I mean like the entirety of this matchmaking, because let's not forget that, you know, there were thousands of players that went through the semifinals. This is the top 3,000 players, top 1,500 duos, and to be able to get 9 elims, very impressive there. Certainly going to be someone that we got to pay attention to. Maybe not even here, but also just moving forward, right? If this player is able to pull these kinds of numbers in servers like this.
Well, particularly because that's a big advantage if you're able to put up those high elimination games. I know there's a lot of players who are big about playing the end game, but you need to be able to capitalize on those elimination points consistently like that. Kalos goes away with the heavy snipe combo, just trying to hang out in a cone, but you lose a little bit of that deception when the cone is inside a house.
Oh, man. He used the heavy snipe to just wipe away that cone.
It's like he just like pulled up the covers. He's like, surprise!
Yeah, the player was just like, oh, you see me? Okay, this is awkward. I'm not fully dressed, but hey, you know, this is weird.
Well, I mean, I just don't know what he's expecting putting a cone down inside one of those natural structures like we talked about, but a good early rotation to get them. Man, this is the 3rd super far south circle we've had in a row. We're almost off the edge of the map in Happy Hamlet here. This is so far.
Oh. And if it, I mean, it's going to zip back up, but it's still like...
So I have seen some of the circles. It is possible to have the rotation actually go over the side if there are some of the inlets there. Doesn't look like that's the case here, as Panda is looking for an angle with that heavy sniper.
Does he get... Oh, I was going to say, does he get it? Alyssa feels so bad. He was just chasing the shots there and was completely unaware of that player. No Panda was looking right at him.
I don't know why you peek in that situation. It doesn't tend to make sense. You're not going to be able to convert on an elim. That's one of those situations we talk about. Yeah, shoot the ballers, but don't do it if a heavy sniper is looking at you. Retrofitted now, going to be the focus of like 3 different teams' fires. This is super unfortunate. He's like, what did I do? Well, you were all by yourself in that early rotation. The other player sitting there with a cone trying to build out, but now he's going to draw attention to himself. That's a lot of dynamite, Golden Boy.
Yeah, this is scary. Okay. All right. Maybe we're doing a little too much here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's going to knock him out, but I don't know if it did any damage. It was just enough to eliminate the structures that were just formed by those players. Retrofitted feels bad. It's going to be knocked out by Winter. That will be the first elimination for Winter. Maybe he got a few more. You know, there's a little bit of the issues there with the spectator keeping track of the eliminations, but this is all for the road to the World Cup. Continue to iterate and improve as this continues on. But here we go. We got a lot of activity going on over here at Happy Hamlet.
Yeah, and look at that. The rotation going about due west. And like you were talking about, the road to the World Cup starts in just 2 weeks, under 2 weeks now, with that April 13th and 14th, the first open online qualifier, $1 million out there, and then it's 10 weeks going through leading up to that World Cup final. But now everyone trying to earn as many points as they can. As you see, the ballers lead the way on the rotation, but the Guardy Party opted to take some shots, saying, hey, no free top 12 for you there.
Not at all. Wants to remove those ballers. Some players, they see the ballers and they're just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with you, and I don't like what you're doing here. So I'm just gonna remove you from the equation. That was all white shots onto the Guardy party. Glorious looking great. Snags the elimination there and has a lot of shields. It's looking like he's preparing for that eventual end game. Keeps going like that for Glorious.
Yeah, he should be in a good spot, utilizing the suppressed SMG and that epic pump, trying to find whatever he can. As that baller rotates through, he's just going to let that one go. No threat to him here, but sees the other player pinned, tries to edit out, hits a great 52 shot, and knows he's pinned into the storm. So that player's going to have to come back through eventually, but trying to find the other player here, really be able to get in that box, Golden Boy.
No, he just was not able to find it, but that other player who was in the box defending himself is just going to run right on up to the high ground, and Glorious deciding not to chase after that individual. We also have a few players that are going to be down low in that ultimate low ground here. Glorious snags another elimination. Mongrel Snake is going to be the victim of that one on Zello. And the ballers now. And look at this here. Poor Mongrel. Zello had their target, knew exactly what he needed to do there. Gets another one with that legendary pump on Link. That's some more eliminations here, and the Storm continues to push forward, but Zello is playing very well. Doesn't have any health items, though. I think he's more focused on getting the elims to keep his shields and health up.
Yeah, he wants to be rotating through that mid-ground tarp as we get closer and closer to the top 7. I think it just ticked over. Now we have Not Panda and By Revi on ultimate high. Comeback on the middle as, yep, top 7. Everyone got at least 5 placement points. Zello dropping down onto the mid-tarp, taking some chip. Will he be able to find the shot?
Just deleted Conmac. Just wiped him with that shot. That was so nice to see there. And then he also has some targets up above him. Zello, Clyde, they continue to work through this one. Aprix legit as well as Slazzer. And up above, we saw Winter, who's just knocked out. Not Panda and By Revi, the duo that we saw at the beginning of the game. They have 12 eliminations, 17 eliminations between the two of them, looking to make that into 18. By Revi's going to get sent down there, but that's another elimination for them to put on the board. This has been a great game for them, and they have the ultimate high ground. And look at where this,
look at the rotation. This is what I was talking about. When it goes too far over the side and then it goes back east, you're effectively rotating off the map as Slazer gets taken out just outside top 3. But these guys are about to get dropped into the drink, Golden Boy.
Oh, they're going to take a bath if they are not careful. Clyde getting ticked out in the storm, and Zello's going to go down. That means By Revi and Not Panda, they're going to be running this server, and that is going to do it. Victory Royale for By Revi and Not Panda, and that will be how many eliminations?
21 elims total. And it's super funny to me there, because Not Panda on the last shot, if he doesn't catch himself, he actually just falls off the side of the map after he confirms the elim. So you can watch it here from his perspective as it comes through. They've really pinned everyone against the side there. You see the players trying to come over. Finally, the last player around the side, as he ends up dropping down and taking the shot, like, he just would have fell. He would have fell all the way down the space, and that would have been it. But that's what I was talking about when you get those super far on the edge of circle maps, because you have the moving circle and there's variable, like, changes to the coastline. Sometimes you end up mostly off the map, but we're gonna get right on into the next match. And no, we're not off the edge of the side this time, over by the old stadium just outside of Tilted. Current game elim leaders Andrew XY, Apex Setia, Insomnia FA all on 3. Then you have Domo and on 2 Legend D, and someone we've seen a lot of. He just says, just don't call me Legend, and we're fine, as Z-Laner ends up taking a bunch of damage there, going down to meet the ball, confirming the elim there. And we also see Barcode, better known as Treason, in that bottom left-hand corner. Fulmer as well. Nikisi's in there, so this is a very stacked lobby, Golden Boy.
And I wonder if Sofa is still going to be up here along with Fulmer. Another consistently performing duo that we've seen time in and time out. Now, as far as the kit is concerned, for this squad, they're going to have Rift to Goes. They'll use that one when they need it. Then we have another fight taking place over here as everything kind of just all pops up so quickly. And that will be the Barrow, who won a 1v2, evidently.
Yeah, just right now, taking out 2 very solid players and converting on that, and doing it with the your favorite weapon, Golden Boy.
That's right, baby.
Blue attack now swapping in for the pump. So interesting to make that happen, but sometimes that's what you need in those situations, a high rate of fire weapon. And when you are basically touching your opponent, if you're hitting headshots or you're catching all the pellets, it hurts.
I'm just saying, blue tag is, it's good. He's a good weapon. He's okay.
I was definitely a bigger fan of the heavies comparatively, but now I've fully converted to be a puppy boy. But as you see there on the side, you have E11 Hart and W Dean in the middle. Sofa is still up indeed, but picking up Punisher there as well. So getting closer and closer towards that top 12. 23 duos remaining, 42 players.
A lot of the players that we've seen, some of the names, more and more consistent performances are going to bring them closer and closer and closer together with their points. So like seeing the Complexity guys along with the T1 guys, E11 as well. Just saw them there. Got a lot of talented folks in this server.
Yeah, Huffs and Jinx now on board with them as this rotation is going to start going over towards that variable terrain. Not too many mountains, so pretty forgiving, so not too much of a burn on mats, but expect a solid amount of elims to come through just because of the amount of space in this circle.
Huffs and Jinx, they're playing slow. They're waiting because they're going to use that Rift to go. And here we go.
And they're going to immediately opt to pop the parachutes, just hang out, because like we talked about, they think a lot of players are going to be eliminated. Keep an eye on that bottom right-hand corner as you see the triangles go through, but just look, the number of players opting to be like, I'm going to be safe up in the sky on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players up there right now, potentially more, 7 falling down in the frame, 8 in the frame now, as everyone just wants to rotate to the far side, but not that many players are going down, Golden Boy.
And I was going to say that I was concerned for the players that were coming in later from their glider deploys, because players like Huffs and Jinx, who went early as soon as that thing popped, they were able to get that ultimate high ground. And then from there, they got full control. So they were able to tag a few players that were still sailing through the sky. And then they also forced this guy down here. It's going to actually end up boxing him out from that place there. And now Huffs and Jinx gonna push on forward. Oh no! And Rift to goes right at the opportune moment and then keep themselves in this game, but they are gonna be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, getting closer and closer to that top 12. You see Sofa topping up with that big pot. Does have the blue pump, so there is one tap potential coming through. Looking to find whatever he can on the mid ground as you hear a couple of those ballers going out. Needs to get back in the zone. Zay ends up getting confirmed by Rowdy Rich. Sofa walks right past that other player, knows he's there, just trying to keep going. Down to 37 builds right now, Golden Boy.
Yeah, Fulmer's going to be very weak, but I think Sofa's more concerned about trying to lay out this path for his teammate and see if Fulmer can pick up 1 or 2 eliminations that can get him back in that health safety area. Meanwhile, Sofa, he's reset. He's just going to use the bandies. He doesn't have anything to build with. You're right, Sundown. 4 builds, 3 builds now. Got to find something. You got to start to pick off some of these players. That's elims. Maybe going to give him an elim. He's got to thirst that guy. He's got to thirst him. He's got to take his builds, and then he does so. So now he has over 40, and he's got to get right back into that safe area.
Yeah, and they also have Motor and Just Illegal, 2 EU boys playing in this match as well. But Meatball and Nick have opted to pop a Rift, and it's going to get them into the top 12 with the safety. But we've talked about when these circles get that much tighter towards the end, it's very difficult to land. You see 4 players up in the sky. Treason picking up Just Illegal right there, so gonna convert on that elim. 18 players remaining, 12 duos, 6 solo riders out there. The rest have pairs as Fulmer ends up converting on Motor, and Treason goes down as well.
They're still in this one. Fulmer and Sofa continue to impress. Meatball and Nick as well. They've managed to just get out of tricky spots so many times, and they're gonna find themselves in the top 12. That means placement points for them. They can get a few eliminations, and that will be very nice. There's 15 players, so 13 players left for them to be able to try and get some picks from. Sofa is actually going to be out of this fight, ends up getting knocked down, and a few of them off onto the elimination feed on the side there, and Meatball's going to find Legendian. Goodbye. And that's number 2 for Meatball.
Getting closer to that top 7 as well, getting ticked out from this thing. Don't need to panic there. Not sliding all the way down. That is one of those replay things we talked about, but catching back up. You can see ultimate high, Risen dropping in, getting the pick onto Jinx, ruining that for Huffs and Jinx, who had done so well to control the high ground. Fulmer on ultimate low is actually now just opting to run out towards the storm to try and run back in.
No! Fulmer tried. He tried, but he wasn't able to do so. Meatball, though, is going to be down low, and he's able to pick off yet another player. And this is the Nick and Meatball show, because they are down low, and it seems like they just have that presence. And that was just a player that ended up going into the rift to go. So Nick and Meatball, they're just going to see this guy flying in the sky. They're just going to pick him.
Yeah, this should be just absolutely free for them. No way they don't convert.
Landing in their face.
And this is a prime example of what we talked about. How yes, the Rift-to-Gos and the launch pads are extremely helpful in those circumstances. But as the circles end up getting tighter, you get forced to pop your parachute. There is a maximum dive height, which means you can't just dive all the way down to the ground. And it's exploitable. It happened right there, and you see you can't necessarily use it so late. It was just on a silver platter would have been an understatement right there. But let's roll on over right into the next match. We have about 28 minutes left for them to queue on NA East. Remember, they get a 3-hour block or 10 matches total, so you can scuff a couple there, not have the best matches, and still be able to capitalize. But looking at the current in-game leaders, you have Limix, Aussie, Cypher, PK hanging up there as well. Big boy, let's see some Cypher emotes in the chat if you're watching for him. Bolt Potent, TFC Neff, and Tough up there. So 6, 4, 3, 3, and 2 elims from our current leaders, as we have 18 duos left moving into Circle 5, 32 players in the server, so 4 solo riders out there right now.
We should all be so thankful that we get to commentate over Cypher's gameplay. Unless Cypher is not in the game anymore. To which I'm sure he will DMS and say, come on, man, really? Oh, okay.
But look, Golden Boy, double heavy sniper. They're going to try and line it up.
And they're going for it. Look at that. Just a coordinated fire there from their ARs. Cleaning house. Josh didn't stand a chance.
And now they're going to look to try and line it up again. They know another player is there, and he's currently occupied by the other side. Does drop down. Will they be able to find it?
Okay.
That player's not even looking.
He's not looking. He's more focused with this fight. He's more focused with the pressure that he's having to deal with in front of him. And this poor person, it's like, what do they do? You know, it's like was that other guy earlier, right? Like, it just was, you know, retro, right? What did he do?
Yeah, and
did
that's
he look
when
at someone wrong?
Well, that we talked about, it's the early side of the rotation, and then we've talked about this before. Don't go be a loot goblin in the firing range. You've already seen the entire server shoot towards that location, so why? And now they're gonna do it again. But
well,
luckily
there's
now,
someone there now.
Yeah, luckily it looks like the double heavy snipe pressure isn't there, but already immediately you see Tracer Fire coming around towards them. They're going to try and get whatever of that loot they can and then rotate away, but want to make sure they don't put themselves in too awkward a position as we're rotating away from Polar Peak, probably much to the relief of a lot of these players.
Loot goblins are the best, man.
That's one word for it.
They really are. Oh, we got RBK High Sky.
RBK High Sky, and then TSN Commandant is also, that's known as Commandment. He just recently changed his name to that as well. So just so players are aware. But High Sky was our Blackheart Cup NA East solo victor. So rocking it through here. Remember, 16 duos remaining. They are looking for top 12 for those first round of placement points. That'll be +3.
Oh, look at these ballers here.
Hey guys, hey man, isn't it great to just roll around here in these ballers? Yeah, it's amazing. This is great. Oh no, we're taking shots.
Then I gotta go.
And again, we talked about how this isn't something we necessarily have seen in a lot of the other regions. We saw Europe was very much so anti-baller, but NA has had a big affinity for them. We talked about some of the changes in the patch notes. There will be additional ones coming through, so make sure you keep an eye on that or go check the patch notes, read those for some additional context. The change on patch 8.20.1 was they do not damage players anymore, and then they got some of those fixes for the trap and boogie bomb effects.
Lots of cool things on the pipeline here. Commandant. So is it Commandment or Commandant? It's Commandant right now.
It's Commandant right now. I'm pretty sure that is TSM Commandment, and I don't know if he's trying to change his name going through. So we're going to go with Commandant since that's what you have on screen. And if you want something else different, please let us know or use that actual name.
Yeah, you could yell at me, people. It's perfectly fine. There's a lot of talented players. We all got to keep up with them. I'm okay with that.
Yes, this is very true, particularly because, you know, sometimes you don't necessarily really, like, own and enjoy your gamer tag, right? Like, you might want to swap it up, and if you're very new to the scene and this is your big first competitive game, sometimes you want to change that up. But you see him trying to make a nice trap play and get enough room to pop that medkit just for a second.
I'm just going to say here, Sundown, I willingly chose the name Golden Boy. That was my bad. right? I could have done something way cooler, but instead I didn't. I could have been like Commandant and just been cool and try and challenge that fight there. And he rushes on through. That's Unor, who goes down there and finds the other onto Faye. Oh my, that was just filthy. But he has to deal with all of the splodes that are just managed to just like connect to him like they were magnets. So all of that HP that he managed to benefit from, all gone now. All gone.
And he wasn't able to find Showtime, who was right next to him. And just it seemed like if he'd had a half a second later for Shotgun to actually settle, but CID from the high ground was able to pick him up there. Now you see NA, the reign of the ballers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that backside, 7 on the backside of the rotation, just out in the open, rolling their way into the top 12. Now they should have a decent amount of resources to work with as well, but official CT is going to find CID right there.
Sid owns you. Well, turns out CT owns you, my friend. At least for the time being now. Official CT continues to push on forward here. He's going to have himself just a green pump. Can we talk about his kit for a moment? Because it is bothering me. He's only got himself that gray heavy, the gray SMG, and a green pump, and yet he's managing to put it to work, Sundown. That's the thing. You can have yourself the legendary pumps. You can have yourself all the greatest weapons in the world, but if you're not nailing your shots, well, you're just not going to benefit from that there. And official CT, even though people continuously challenge him, he's still managing to hold his own in these fights.
Yeah, but he's out of build, so he needs to convert on something. You see him picking up the map. He's still not opting to try and upgrade his weapons. Instead, just staying with what he has. I mean, there was plenty of time. He could have just pressed the use button on it, but no. Rock, and he said, oh, Rock, with this common pump, with all of these weapons, no problem there. Arda on the low ground, picking up Smokey and pushing himself into the top 7. Will they be able to convert on another one? There it is, CT going down as well.
I'm sure he would have liked to have been able to pick up. Oh my, it is just carnage. Carnage down low. Arda and Physical, everyone that just dropped down, they dropped down and immediately disappeared. It was like they got hit with the snap and they were gone. That was so impressive. But Physical is going to be out of this fight, so it's now going to come down to Arda. And then the ultimate high ground is going to be Aimkey and Parm, because they will force all these players here to have to respect the high ground that they own.
And Ranger picking up a great trap elim there. Fantastically well done to pick that one up. You see Mel's actually bouncing around it all the way out, so that's when the ballers betray you. Unfortunately, now you have Aimkey and Parm on high ground, Ranger on mid-tarp, Arda on ultimate low. Will Arda be able to make a play from the low ground and do something here, or will Aimkey and Parm be able to ride this high ground out and take the 2v1v1?
Arda has no time to be able to use that half pot. He does see that player that's going to be right next to him. If he can get the elimination, then he can get the 50 HP, and then it's basically like using that half pot there. That Ranger down low, but he's going to get hit with so much damage that now he's going to have to turtle and play this one smart. But just because he has to deal with players that are going to be above him as well, it just does not seem like it's going to be very likely for Arda here. And Parm and Aimkey, they had his number. Now it's going to be Arda still trying to just contend for this one. Arda did manage to get that one player, but it wasn't enough because Parm and Aimkey had the ultimate high ground and they never let it go.
No problem right there. Just stayed on top of it. We're executing out. Ranger tried to trap himself out or fake build out the side, but it doesn't matter. You're not faking anyone out, as they just simply have to hold on the high ground. Arda cleaning that one up for him, but he has nowhere to go. Has to try and edit his way up, and they're just waiting for it. Sitting there, waiting. Had the edit there down, no problem, as the player basically runs directly into the pump. He says, hi, nice to meet you. This is the back to lobby screen.
Yes, that was that. Man. Those are some games.
Those were definitely some games. We're getting in
that was a thing we did.
Towards the tail end of it. It's now 6:40 p.m. Eastern, 3:40 p.m. Pacific, which means 20 more minutes left on those queues. Let's take a look at the standings and see where we're falling out. That means the players have time for maybe 1, possibly 2 more games. But you see there, Pika and Rue jumping up 78 points. Aspect and Animal still at 68, so probably waiting for another match to finish up, or might have had a little tough one. You have Angel XD20 sitting at 3rd with Krusty HD. FaZe, Funk Bomb, and Nate Hill jumping up to 4th, GV.
I said it earlier.
You did say it earlier.
We were talking about players that were on the up and up. I feel like Nate Hill, Funk is a phenomenal player, but I think Nate Hill is just, he's great in duos. He loves duos. It makes sense. Not bad. 4th place there. I'm sure that they want to keep going because that difference between the 4th and 2nd is not that far out.
No, it's really not that far. I also want to give a shout out to Lavish. I know you enjoy tagging a lot of people in your tweets. Well, people should be looking at you now, getting up there to 5th place. Mastoris and Perfect Hill in 6th. Bizzle and Demo, another pair we were talking about before, 7th. Byrevi and Not Panda, 8th. Gandhi, Dab Dab Dab, and Teza, and then Ghost Ryan and the Uzi, both at 55 points, rounding out the top 10. So this is a great stretch of leaderboard, a mix of players who we've seen through the cups and the gauntlet, and super old established veterans as well, challenging towards the top. It's going to be a super interesting last about 45 minutes, 50 minutes or so.
You got to think about it like this, right? There is a new generation, I guess, of Fortnite players that the floodgates have opened. There's opportunity in front of them. The Luxe Cup, the Fortnite World Cup, all the other cups that have happened before this. Winter Royale, right? Winter Royale was probably the one event where we started to see all of these fresh faces, right?
Yep.
And I think that there are these players that have been putting in this work for such a long time. And now that they're starting to get these opportunities, we're starting to see them establish themselves as top players in the scene. And they're going to keep on going. We're seeing some also familiar faces, maybe not the biggest names like Rux and Pika, who are there. You know, I know who they are because I follow competitive Fortnite, but they're not like the biggest
they're not like
names.
completely
They're like
out
Bizzle
there.
and Demo, right?
Exactly.
Everyone knows who Bizzle and Demo is. But pretty soon we're going to be saying that Rux and Pika are like, you know, the faces of all this stuff.
If they're top 3 in
like
2
this
regions every single weekend, they have to be. But we're not done yet. Again, almost all the way through NA East, but we still have the entirety of NA West afterward. We're going to take a short little break, and then we'll get into the rest of these NA East matches. So hang out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the Luxe Cup. I'm Zeke. This is Sundown, and we are knee-deep in NA East action. And boy, oh boy, has it not disappointed. Very quickly, I want to touch on something someone called out on social media and whatnot. My eyes blinking. Very quickly, I'm just going to touch on this. I just have dry eyes. Also, we have makeup, so when I touch my face, touch my eyeball, it dries out, and I get really upset. That's why I'm blinking. There's no Morse code. There is Morse code. It's I love you. Let's get right into things. In case you're just joining us, hello, welcome. This is Luxe Cup. We'll take a look at the standings as they are now as we begin our NA East trudge, because there's a lot of games to get through.
Yeah, so let's take a look at these standings so far. We just saw them on the first side of the break. No updates coming through necessarily. Peak and Roost still in that first spot. 78 points, 68 to Aspect and Animal, who qualified in that first spot. Angel, XD20, Krusty HD in third. FaZe Funk and Nate Hill in fourth. Bucky and Lavish in fifth. Mastoris, Perfect Tilt, sixth. Bizzle, Demo, 7th, Byrevi, Not Panda, 8th, Gandhi, Dab, and Teza in 9th, and then Ghost, Ryan, and the Uzi in 10th. So a lot of people who we've been seeing through the Cups and making their way up there and seeing them in these matches. Its question is, can Aspect and Animal put together some huge clutch performances to take back that #1 spot?
Well, we will find out as we get into things. In case you're just tuning in for the first time, we'll take a look at the format very, very quickly just to get you up to speed. Reaching top 12. Well, actually, let's just hop in a game, and then we'll do it then. Let's go. We got Fortnite action to get through. All right, we're going to ready for the fancy graphic on the right side. 1, 2, 3, bang.
You're no longer a magician.
Boom.
You're slightly mistimed.
I should have counted from 5. My bad. All right. There's how you get points. Reaching top 12, 7, and 3, and obviously the victory are all placement thresholds. Each elimination is worth 1 point. We are hopping in from circle 4 and or 5 and on, because you know what? That's how we roll. We go action, we go full send. 37 people left and 22 duos as we are near paradise right now, Sundown.
Yep, and jumping on board here with Aspire and Truly. But looking at the current game elim leaders, you have Ego Isua at 7, Vexer at 4, Mikey Aim at 3, Casco at 3, and Envy Lena, the Dwarf, at 2.
Look at all these people that are trying to make their way over, scramble into the next safe zone as Aspire is aspiring to be a demolition man as we see the dynamites going out, causing mass chaos, and he gets Diddy the boy. I'm so sorry, friend. Enjoy your trip back to the lobby.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in where he is able to just drop all the dynamite now, and then you're in kind of that valley. But again, we talk about the negatives of being that loot goblin, as Aspire pretty much just straight holds forward to go get down there, but putting himself in the fire range. You see Tyler 15 and Lena up on the high ground. Over here, you have Tapin G, Fox now, Mateos on the high ground above him, but Cubsy has been knocked.
That Season 2 skin, I like it. No eliminations. And just keep in mind, as we begin our road to the World Cup, we're updating all of our tools to give you the best viewing experience possible. So if you see things like this, maybe there's a little bit of bugs happening, you know, loadout's not loading, elimination's not calculating, do not even worry about it. These are bugs. We're going to squash them, and Fortnite World Cup is going to be awesome.
Yeah, and 2 of the most common ones you might end up seeing is just a little bit of the replay catching up. Might look like it's lagging. It generally fixes itself very quickly. Or, you know, that delightful little ticking noise in the ear of the dynamite thing. We do have a fix in for that. Should be done shortly. But with that being said, this allows for us to capture the best of the gameplay, all of these matches. And if you go and check out the Reddit, some of the test matches are available to you. So if you want to go broadcast these out, go through the replays, do a VOD analysis, make some cool content, you can go check out the post on there and follow the instructions for how to access them and go through and try it out. So if you want to do your own little mini cast, try and be Zeke, go for it.
Listen, you'll never be as funny as me, but I promise you, you can try. No, you'll be funnier than I am. I guarantee it. Mateo's picking up his first elim. Can he track down this other duo? So this is interesting, right? Because it is duo format. Last week was solos. Things are going to be a little different, right? Especially in these situations where your partner goes down. It's just you trying to get every point you can.
Yeah, you want to try and maximize on it. Get into that top 12 like you talked about for +3 on the placements, but really to just catch people rotating and do your best to make it as far as possible. Don't expose yourself to unnecessary risk. Don't be taking shots you don't need to. Making sure you're double covered on all of your walls. As you see now, World's Best Gaming, Tyler 15, somebody who came up through the Winter Real and at the Secret Skirmish, having very good performances, now partnered with Lenon as they're attempting to gatekeep this player from the far side. Now gatekeeping, again, the term when the storm is at the other player's back and they're forced to run forward towards towards those fire lines. You see Atlanta Savage and Narcy all the way up on ultimate high on top of that hillock, going to be in a great on the ultimate high and away from them as the rotation is going to go all the way back over Paradise, Zeke.
So here's the thing, man. We're either going to trudge over old builds, or we're just going to try and get through Paradise, which, I mean, you know, there's a lot of coverage. There's a lot of little things that you can kind of take a look at as far as the buildings go. I would personally like to see us roll over that old hotel there because, you know, that's quite... There's windows as far as the eye can see. You could very easily get caught up in there, but we'll have to see as things develop. 7 away from placement points. We're going to see the game slow down. No one wants to be the guy that gets eliminated just there on the cusp of getting those points as these builds fall. Tyler looking to gain high ground over them, but that player opts to just leave this entire fight saying, look, I'm going to use my launch pad. I'm just going to bail. And now we make the mad dash. Nice pick up there on Giuseppe. Tyler dropping down. Hopefully Linane can keep up there. Wait, where did Linane go? I think he might have just kept going. Maybe he launch padded.
Yeah, I didn't quite see where he ended up rotating through to, but now you see the rain of the ballers coming across, trying to clear through that open space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going across. Django on that ultimate low, having a decent amount to be able to pressure these, but not a ton. Rocking that rare pump and the uncommon suppressed SMG, trying to find the shot, and a great shot on the Scrimlins there to pick it up.
Man, Django completely unchained here as he's making his way through Paradise Palms. Gonna go ahead and box himself up with that metal and secure his nice positioning. But take a look at where we're going with the next circle. We're going northwest, away from all this. Pretty flat grounds, nice pick off there. And ooh, if he edits this, come on, don't panic. Okay, he opts not to take the rip to go. Smart. Another crack there with a 67 to the face. Departure says, not today, friendo. Oh, but he then gets caught up in the builds.
Yeah, and as he gets eliminated there, he misses out on the top 12, so no +3 for him. Everyone else in the lobby getting that, but now Boba T-Joy able to find a great shot out there and doesn't get the elim though, as Vexter was the last one to tag that player. Mikey Aim gets picked up there, so good job from Boba there to convert on one. Will he be able to find another as the player ramps off just in time to block him off, but not covering all of the sides? Tom Scrub goes down as well. Great work from Boba T there, picking up at least 2 elims.
That's right. Don't forget, guys. Top 7 is the next placement threshold. So now we're going to see the game slow down just a tad bit. Because, again, no one wants to make that mistake. We are kind of nearing the last few games out of NA East. So every point matters. Truly going to do everything he can to shut that player down. Gets the crack on the baller. Now him and his dual partner, Aspire, looking to find anything they can here. Top 7 reach. Placement points divvied out. I like the coverage here. Watching down low as his teammates watching up at the front. Top 5 duos remain, 9 players in the current lobby. That means 1 person. Just kidding. That guy gets eliminated. It's all a free-for-all 2v2, v2, v2. That's right. I can math sometimes. But now we're going to check back in with Truly and Aspire. The loadout, you know, it's good for that generalistic engage, but no utility explodes. Not much in the way of heals, just the bandies, but those are only against you 75 HP at tops. Malau! Ooh, gets cracked!
Yeah, but the best heal, we've talked about it before, is that Siphon on elimination as he's able to pick it up there. But the grenade launcher in such a tightly packed corridor, if you can get them down there, if we can just rain them down on the low ground, they don't bounce up too high, they can be very effective. You see Truly is pinned now against the Storm, trying to work his way up. Aspire on ultimate low, 2v2, v2. Tyler, no, just 2, v2, v2. There's only 3 left. No, no v2 more. Those guys are
I did
out.
the math wrong.
Yeah, it's okay. Like we talked about, not multiples of 10 is hard, but Truly picking up Savage right there as they pincer their way up. But Tyler and Linon should be able to work their way down and close this out from the high ground.
6 eliminations between them. If they can just close this out. A minigun is unleashed, winding up and devastating that top cone layer, but it is metal, so things are just going to keep going. Narsty goes down. Truly and Aspire to 2v2.
Yeah, trying to find it, but Aspire is very far separated, so what they should probably look to do, well, I mean, Truly has the health advantage, so realistically, you want Aspire to challenge while Truly is okay, but Truly instead is going to be the one to ramp out to try and flank and challenge these guys. He's going to find it, putting the pressure on Lenon. Lenon goes down. Can he convert and get the Siphon? No, he doesn't. He gets knocked, but now Aspire has the zone control. Tyler is looking to find him. Will he get the shots? Tyler has stopped trying to find Aspire, but he just needs to cover himself. Tyler then turns around, goes back and gets the confirm to get the health back. Will he find the angle? No, Aspire takes it from the low ground. 13 HP, Zeke.
That was so close. That honestly could have gone either way. But Aspire kept his calm, kept his cool. That's a sweet victory royale heading their way. 10 placement points as well as elimination points. They're feeling real good about that. But guys, we have way more Fortnite action to get through, so let's keep it popping. We're going to hop into the next game and take a look on the middle of your screen. Moving there left, Saf and Zayd, two dynamos of the community.
Yeah, Nerve, Chundis as well, Germ, J-Love, Wuxia Link, and Gcast in there. But looking at the current game Elim leaders, we also have our top of the leaderboard in 1st and 5th, racking up to 6 Elims between them, Pika and Rue. Instinctual on 4, Dyslexic, Go Wacky on 3. I have no idea if that's supposed to be a play on words or a joke at some point. And then Trick FN on 3 as well. So lots of Elims coming through, 39 players in the lobby, 20 duos now as 2 end up going down.
You hate to see it. Keep in mind, guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Luxe Cup Duos format. Placement thresholds are top 12, 7, 3, and 1. There you see on the right side of your screen the point divvying out, each elimination being 1 valuable point for a lot of these players. So we're going to see things take a little bit of we're going to hit the brakes for just a little bit, right? Because no one wants to be eliminated. They want to hit that valuable threshold of 12 as a duo to get those 3 points. Let's hop in around to see all the players. That was a dope transition. I like that. 10 out of 10. Now we might be hopping in with RBK, Germ, and J-Love. Let's tune in with them. 1 elimination between them, but that's okay. Listen, there's still 35 other players in this lobby that could be picked up by them.
And it's a long rotation coming out. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, there's a lot of those triangles. They represent players and their duos who are not yet in the zone.
You are so right. It is now 5 seconds away from the storm starting to move. Everyone's going to start scrambling. Keep in mind, Zayd's staff still holding this gigantic wood castle that they've built themselves. And these guys are going to be titans in this lobby. Definitely difficult to face off as the double lasers come out.
Ooh.
Well,
that's
you know,
rough.
I blinked and missed it, but I heard it.
Yeah, that's rough for Lofgeezy. I mean, you heard the shots in the rate of fire come out. Those high rate of fire weapons, if they catch you in a straight line, able to do a ton of damage, even at the max damage fall off, which they weren't at, but they're getting close to. Trying to get the long rotation, able to take a little bit of storm rotation to take out. Probably worth it to secure that high ground. Not necessarily worth running back into, but players are going to drop directly above him. You hear the clingers go out. Will they end up connecting? And it down did happen at the same time, but a great edit down. Mercury Predator falling right there to J-Love.
Man, he was just served himself up on a silver platter for J-Love. Now the Raised by Kings duo looking to command the next rotations. As you see people, they're aiming up in the sky because they're trying to float down, potentially trying to steal away the high ground. But nope, J-Love says, not today, friends. This is my high ground, and I want to try and convert this into a victory. 6 duos need to fall for those placement points. You see Clingers going out, and I mean, J-Love has got quite a bit of utility, right? Nice Clinger on Kodal there. Good day, friend. You will be missed.
But let's see if he can actually end up converting it. They are going to try and use the RPG to sneak some shots in there, trying to keep whatever pressure they can. Will he be able to get the revive? Tristan looking for the space, but also has Av directly below him. Let's see if they decide to pressure. Honestly, I think everyone's just looking for a safe rotate unless they can get a conversion. But the second I say that, assault rifle shots from everywhere.
Yeah, everyone is popping. They're saying, look, all the the updated infantry rifle now hit scan. We'll see if he can, okay, shuts Selk down immediately, already putting this to good use. It's dope to see this weapon kind of be utilized because we haven't seen too much of it. We'll have to see how Foolish here can convert this in, utilizing the geyser there, get himself skybound, look to find somewhere new. This is going to be tricky, right, Sunda? Because where the circle is, we're kind of butting up against that little what do you call that, like a plateau?
I'd say I've been calling them hillocks. I'm sure there's just a better term for it, but I know that's a universally accepted one, as Saf is actually able to down Rue, so that could have huge implications if he's able to convert, which he does. That means Pika is now by himself, very close to that placement threshold. Everyone just trying to survive. One more duo pairing, doesn't want to be the one sent back to lobby there as another player on the low ground. Pika picks up J-Love though. It's not going to be for the full duo elimination though, so still one more player has to go down as Tristan is trying to cover himself up here.
Top 12 reach, placement points divvied out, 7 being the next placement threshold. People looking to do everything they can, finding eliminations along the way. We see that number dwindling quickly. Another 2 duos as Tristan here trying to find a shot. One whiffs it, unfortunately, but follow up there. Nice, almost coming through. And now he's going to look to find it. Instinctual goes down, and Tristan picks up 2 eliminations that get shut down. Pika is here by himself. Matthew down below in the storm. Kel here in the middle tarp. Someone is up high, and he's going to be forced to use that rift to go as he glides back down. The question is there anyone else that came with him? It doesn't look like it, but taking a look at Pika's loadout, he has so much. Okay, so it's AV there and Happy, who have had that high ground. Pika's landing on AV as we speak. He's trying to outbuild this player. Just pull out the shotgun. That's a, okay. Oh, God.
But right away now, will he be able to find the second one? He needs to clutch up here. This is showing why they're so good at the top of the board while going full send. Able to get in the top set. Pulls out the heavy snipe, but doesn't find it. Conversion comes through to top him back off right now.
This could be huge here as Pika maintains the highest of the high. Trying to waterfall down maybe a little bit. Nope, he says launch pad. This is going to get me to safety.
He needs to dive back down immediately though, because it is going to force him to, and yep, so it's going to force his glider height, and rather than go down, he opts to land and then waterfall back down, looking to find whatever shots he can. You have Pika on ultimate high, Fung and KezKD on ultimate low. Saf is on the mid tarp as well as RBK, and then you have Domo and Soggy's in there as they pincer down on Saf. He gets picked up. So it's a 2v2, v1, v1. Pika on ultimate high, Germ getting forced all the way down. You have Fung and Kez on ultimate low. Who will be the next action as Germ ends up getting picked up now? So Fung and Kez, 5 elims. Pika and Rue on 6, but it's only Pika left. The other 2 duos on ultimate low and the mid ground tarp, Zeke.
This is, listen, Pika might be by himself, but do not count him out. Watch and keep an eye on the heavy sniper, because he could very easily punch through someone's build, shotgun them, and that's going to be down. He's going to be in a great position. We see the heavy sniper comes down, punches down through. Could not, never mind. There it comes out, converting over. And now Pika, like I just happened, it was a caster curse in reverse.
You call in the victory? Yeah, caster blessing. Maybe,
blessing.
But we talked about it honestly. Him having ultimate high ground in this position was the kicker. It didn't matter that the other pairings were in duos. As he's able to push down and dictate that fight, they were too busy trying to clean up each other, giving him the position to just sweep down. We talk about the backside circle rotation. That was a high ground and backside circle rotation. Water falling down and catching each one of the players as they were pinned against the storm. Very well executed there. No surprise there on top. We're going to swing right on board immediately. So 2 players on our screen who we just saw, Ghost Innocence and Ghost Assaults, 2 fantastic controller players, very good at executing through. And we have just Ghost Web so good he's on there twice, 4 elims and 3 elims. That'll just be a quick little error. We'll get that one sorted. But Web sitting on 4, Assault sitting on 3, Nayu on 3. I'm assuming that's Innocence on 3, and then Vivid on 2. So Vivid in here as well. Naga Black Ops just getting picked up there as well. So missing out on this top 12, but a very stacked lobby as we get into the end of NA East. It is now 7:05 p.m. Eastern, 4:05 p.m. Pacific. That means the queues are done. We're getting the last few matches, so about 25-30 minutes before we have ourselves a winner, as Assault is able to push in and just take down Knives, and his partner Gratix goes down as well to Aspect.
Man, and look at this. They may get to make the upgrades, half shields, minis, rift to goes, heavies, snipers. This is just everything. They were just gifted all the utility in the world, and they still have the ballers. My goodness.
My goodness, indeed. Campfire in there as well. And a decent map position, too. Not going to be overly threatened. You do have Mastoris and Perfect Tilt in there. Another one of our pairings who are pushing towards that top 5, top 4 spot. So this lobby is going to have big leaderboard implications, Zeke.
Now we're hopping in with my boy and Jacob N. Jacob North. Jacob N. Listen, if we say your name wrong, we're so sorry. Just shoot us a tweet. Shoot
us a Twitter. Yeah, build us an entire social media platform and then shoot us it. No, my boy and Jacob, I think you guys got that one right. Also, the smiley face. As they make the player drop down, will they be able to convert without taking too much trade? And they do. Kayshawn going down there. That's super unfortunate, but you have to be aware of owning your walls. You can't get dropped into somebody else's 1-by-1 at this point. If you guys are just joining us, these are the last queues for the NA East part of the Duo Luxe Cup. This is the top 1,500 duos, top 3,000 players qualified through from yesterday. In order to play in the semifinal, you needed to reach contender in the arena. That's 125 points. And this is our second paid in-client duo tournament, third one overall, leading up to the World Cup Open qualifier less than 2 weeks away now, April 13th and 14th. Mark it on your calendars. That's $1 million a week for 10 weeks spread across the regions.
That is $10 million over 10 weeks. I can math multiples of 10. Thick here and unlucky. Look. If you're out in the audience, if you're watching at home and you just clapped, shout outs to you and Sundown who just gave me confidence. Thank you guys so much. Arfi is in the thick of it right now because, man, they've just swooped in, got themselves a commanding position. The question is, though, where's everyone else relative to them? Looks like very, very close. You see Anonymous 72 on there, Resolve. There's a bunch of high-profile names, Maxi as well. And now it looks like these guys are maybe not in the best position. Okay, I was going to say, it sounds like we're going to have stinks here in any moment. But keep in mind, we're about to get a new safe circle here at near Salty Springs. Depends on where we go. If we go north to the divot, things are going to get chaotic. Please don't. Not like this. Okay, we're actually going into Salty Springs, potentially old builds.
Potentially old builds and net farm the structures. The reason for that is the walls of buildings are very inefficient for actual math. It's much faster to go find a quarry, go find trees to hit those for your wood and your brick, but that means rotating through them. Often it's 450 to 500 point health, which if you don't have a heavy sniper or honestly the rare suppressed SMG, it makes it incredibly difficult to punch through those in a timely manner, particularly if there's a 10 damage storm at your back.
That's right, man. A minute before we have to go. Storm is moving. Everyone's going to start making these rotations. A nice pickup.
Great work. The rifling skills there. We talk about how sometimes you necessarily don't need the best of kits. You just need good enough. As a little bit of miscommunication there. Unfortunately, they're going to try and get out to that jump pad to recycle it. No, instead, just going to use their own. As Neu and Mirage are going to build out and maintain their high ground. They need to conserve mats, though, because it's still very early, Zeke. 31, relatively early in terms of the number of players in the match. 30 duos, or 19 duos, 30 players. As you see, 72 and Vivid still in it right now.
I love tuning into this particular duo as we see 72 dropping Ghost Webs. He was an elimination leader. But these guys are fantastic, right? A few weeks ago, we saw them decide to become dual partners, and immediately you hear the rocket, and 72 is like, yo, we gotta go. So now they're going to be making their descent back down from orbit. We'll see how things unfold as we tune in with Aspect and Gamerman. 42-0-69. That's a long number string there, but 14 people means another 2 set of duos need to fall before we get those 3 placement points. And I mean, right now it's almost like a shooting gallery. On 72, it drops down. Vivid is down low trying to reconnect, and immediately Tom takes the high ground.
Yeah, able to get that angle now, and you see Vivid is right next to him as well. But the RPG comes out. Do they have it? Oh, 72 was able to catch himself. No eyes on Vivid yet. Didn't see him going down, which means I'm assuming they were able to catch. No, there he is. Did get knocked finally. That was a very long fall for him to go through. Well, Tom's not going to be able to work his way back down. So 72 is going to be by himself as we're closing in on that top 12 situation.
So close to getting these valuable and critical placement points. You see Twiz go down there. Perfect tilt. Let's hop in with him. Let's see what's going down. I love the loadout here. He's got the heavy snipe. Be ready to have him punch through someone's build and shotgun them in the face if possible. And edit down 192 to 62, or 190 and 62 to follow. He's going to leave that player there because he wants to make sure that Siphon is the most valuable.
Yeah, and he's just trying to get themselves into that top 12, so that's 3 points. We do have a number of ballers still left in play, but don't expect them to last for another circle or so, as players have to capitalize on the elimination credit that ends up coming through. Bolt falling right there. Yep, elimination credit coming through, making sure he was topped off since already at 100-100. Gamer Man trying to get the shot, but a great high ground retake from Perfect Tilt as the replay catches up. There's madness going on the mid ground right now. Perfect Tilt trying to work his way. He wants a piece of this elim credit here, Zeke.
And he's got to be careful though. Mastoris is by himself down below, so they're trying to pinch from both angles, top and bottom. Nothing yet to follow. My boy finds an elimination. So does Jfree, is unlucky.
He knows his player's here. He's going to try and drop to the side and punch through with the heavy sniper if he wants to commit to that. But he has no build, Zeke. That's why he's just letting this other player build out for him. He's utilizing his own thing.
Here it comes!
Will he find it? Yes! Innocence goes down. Can he find Assault as well? He does! Brilliant from Perfect Tilt, putting himself into the top 7 with that, getting the Rift to go, getting all the mats in the world. Will he be able to do it? Mastoris is on that low ground. Again, we've seen this before from them, Zeke, where they split. One goes to the power position underneath to pick up as many elims as possible, and the other holds high ground. Unfortunately, Mastoris only able to pick up one elim before he gets picked up. My boy now topping off with that heavy shield is going to get it off and only takes the one storm tick, so it is worth. Mastoris goes down, top 5 duos, 6 players remaining.
We are so close. Cheat code goes down. There is my boy, finds another 2. It's a 1v1 Sundown. It's a 1v1. Perfect Tilt still holding the high ground.
And he should be good. Everyone getting the 7 placement points here. Carbo, will he win those against Mubi right now? But Perfect Tilt is looking to find it with the heavy snipe. Wants to have a little bit of style. Does have 88 builds left. Does have a Rift to go, which isn't necessarily going to come into play. You see him now trying to make sure he has all his builds out. Only 10 builds left for my boy, but he only needs to cover himself once. He's trying to fire it out with the infantry rifle. I don't see a way that Perfect Tilt ends up giving this up if he can get a tick onto my boy, because both are on 100 HP right now, Zeke. It's going to get awkward real fast, but the campfires. He has campfires, and my boy is looking to challenge right now.
All right, here we go. Campfire time. He's going to backtrack, hide himself, maybe. Look to get an angle. He's going, oh, he's just going to go for it. Okay, so my boy must have taken some of the storm tick damage there.
Yeah, no, he dropped out to the side and was just trying to get the bandages off, hoping to win it. Perfect Tilt, once he realized the player wasn't following, ran back to try and get an angle. Didn't matter, able to close it out. And honestly, that comes down to his 1v2 with no mats, able to pick up Innocence and Ghost, or Assault on that mid-ground tarp. Brilliantly done for him. We're going to jump right on over and look at that. Huge names on the screen right away. Thorny and Potent, Nick Mercs, Neo Rouge, Bizzle, and Demo. And they're not even in the current in-game leaders with the exception of Demo and Potent. You have NC Kanada. He made sure we pronounce his name correctly.
Kanada, yeah.
4 elims. Oh My Pulse on 4 as well. Rocane on 3. Demo on 2. Potent on 2.
That's right. A lot of high-profile names here, especially as you talked about it. Queue times, you can no longer queue. These games are just wrapping up. We'll be close to crowning a winner. We're hopping with Nick Mercs and his teammate Neo Rouge. This is one person I'm very excited to see. We talked about this a while ago, just kind of how he can convert into those late games, and I think Nick is doing that. He's evolving, and I mean, he's about to hit placement points.
Yeah, so he's actually tweeted it out as well. He's put the leaderboards up every single time. He's shown his stats and he said, hey, it's a work in progress. We're working towards getting a late game. I know I got a little bit of flack for this last week saying, well, like, hey, it's an end game stream, right? But Nick has said himself he's working on it, and we've seen it in his results.
Yep.
His results don't lie. He's getting more placement points. He's working his way farther up the ladder. It's enabling him to get more elims, and that's what you're seeing so far right now. So him and Neo Rouge in a fantastic spot in terms of loadout, and in this early rotation, getting over into the circle, utilizing that baller. Neo is going to be able to catch up, but we're seeing a development in Nick, and this is what you can expect as a long-time competitive gaming veteran. Doesn't matter what the game is, he'll find a way to work and practice and get better to put himself in a spot to compete with the best of the best, regardless of what it is.
That's right, man. And we'll see how he can convert this. Let's see what he's learned. Double 31's going across the way. Is there follow-up? Not quite yet. The player was savvy enough to build themselves to safety, but Nick is continuing on with the pressure. The question is, where's Neo? Looks like he might be up and left of Nick Mercs. Never mind, it's Pulse. He shuts him down. Pulse we actually saw back at TwitchCon. He partnered with Dingledurper. They're pretty good.
Yes, we did. That was during the Stream Invitational. Did a great job in that as well, but he's shown that he's a very good competitive player in his own right, showing up in a lot of these gauntlets, challenging up towards and just being just inside those prizes for the last leaderboard we saw. Let's see if he's able to continue that as we're getting closer to the top 12. 30 players remaining, 16 duos.
That's right. And if you're just tuning in, welcome. We hope you've had an incredible day so far. And let's top that day off with a nice cherry on top that is Fortnite. Let's talk about placement points very quickly. Top 12, 7, 3, and victory are all the placement thresholds with 3, 2, 2, 3 points respectively. And each elimination is worth 1 point. So that means 4 more duos need to fall before everyone in the lobby gets that first placement threshold. So we're going to see the game slow down just a tad, not too much, as we see the grenades bounce. Nothing connects, though, with Sip, as FaZe, Funk Bomb, and Nate Hill are also here. Dude, there's so many big names right now, Sundown.
They really, really, really are. Wrigley in there as well. We talked about him a lot yesterday and earlier today. And he's just able to make plays happen regardless of where he is. But he's unfortunately getting pinned against that backside of the circle. We talk about how once you end up the subject of fire, it can just happen over and over again as Canada gets picked up there. Nick and Neo Reach doing a good job. That's 3 eliminations for them, 3 points, and almost getting the next one. What you see here, it's super interesting. Nick is dropping materials for Neo since he has to use those to rotate, and then they're giving the baller to Nick so he can have the safer opportunity to rotate, allowing Neo to utilize kind of tracking the players through and utilizing his slightly more, I'd say, aggressive active building, but FA Pusher just gets pushed in by Funk and Nate Hill right there.
Man, they just caught him completely off guard there. And now they're just going to make their way over. They have a bunch of mats picked up from that ammo. I believe that one right there was actually Nick Merck, so Neo is not too far behind on the builds. We see DRXZ and Dex there as well. Nick Merck's down below, just hugging this little right wall. The question is, where is Neo in all of this? We're going to tune into Nick Merck's, who's just still chilling, making these rotations.
Just hanging out, and that's what he's looking to do. Just remaining kind of inconspicuous, wants to hold this ball as long as possible. It's a great opportunity! Oh my god, picking Dex out literally as his partner went to rift him, and that pushes him into the top 12 as well. So that's a high value elimination, getting them 7 points right there off that swing.
And you know Nick is feeling, because immediately he boosts out in the middle of the crowd saying, "Let's go, fam!" The question is, can you see more than just his eyes and forehead? I have no idea. You should go find out. Nate Hill and Funk Bomb here together.
8 effective HP right now. He needs to get the conversion as it comes through. Did have the player down. That's the one we were talking about. The Siphon going through. And excuse me when I said Nick had 7 points. That was 7 total points for their team on the swing. They had the 4 elims plus the 3 placements. But now, as we get closer to that top 7 situation, Finesse Kid Rich picking up 2 quick elims. Oh Yeti picking up Neo Rouge. That means Nick is now all on his lonesome, aiming to get for that top 7. Rokane getting the down on Mr. Mavs, but Funk converting on it. Rokane getting DRXZ. So now we're into top 7. Nate Hill picking up Static there. We're getting closer, Zeke, but Nick should still be in this match somewhere.
Yeah, we have not seen his name in the bottom left of the action feed. That means he's hit placement points for 12 and 7.
Yeah, but Nate Hill and Funk sitting on 6 elims in really good tarp control. There's Nick against the side of the mountain. Funk Bomb on ultimate low, and Nate working down towards him. Caliber TV on the mid-ground tarp. As we get kind of a brief respite for the low-ground players. Some action happening on the high ground. Shots being traded out, but really right now just kind of wants to roll around, get whatever advantage he can. Does pick up the Rift to go, but we talked about diminishing returns on how helpful that's going to be as you get later on into the game.
I like this. Immediately rejoining there with Nate Hill. 2 players I'm happy we're seeing and getting to tune into, because these guys, they're great. You know, they're very well known in the community, very well respected. Came in 2nd in TwitchCon.
Yeah, second place at TwitchCon, and then it was followed by Zexo and Vinny in 3rd. And it was very close towards the end, with Closely coming up with a huge performance there. I believe he was top 5 at PAX West as well in the solo aspect of it, so incredibly consistent. As you see, the rest of the lobby goes up into the sky. Nate Hill and Funk Bomb, will they be able to capitalize here? Let's see. Rokane goes down. Can they find Yeti, or will Yeti be forced to land out of the storm? No, Yeti goes down as well. So that first duo gets cleaned up. So now it's just a 2v1v1. They're looking for everyone else to land. Traps going down. Case is going to fall into that field as well. And this is what we talked about. Diminishing returns on the Rift to go. The last player is going to be forced out into the storm. It's Caliber. But it doesn't matter. The rest of the lobby got rifted. That's 4 full elims. Every single other player got pulled down, went from 6 to 2, and they were the last 2. 10 eliminations and the victory out. 20 points right there, and they're flexing the fire dance emote as well.
You love to see it. Huge shout outs to them and a massive congrats getting a victory royale. Man, these games do not disappoint. There's so much action, so many new faces, so many returning faces. This is what this is all about. We are getting closer to crowning a victor, a champions, plural, for NA East, right at the cusp. Let's take a look at the standings and see where players are as we speak. Right now, leading the pack is Aspect and N with 97 points. 9 points clear from Mastoris and Perfect Tilt. Right behind them, Pika and Rux, and with 84 points. FaZe Funk and Nate Hill after that game must have just launched them upward because now they're in 4th place with 80 points.
Yeah, Angel XD 20, and then Krusty HD at 79. Canada and Sip also at 74. By Revi, Not Panda 72. Defy and FAFSA Big Saucy 72. Bucky and Lavish 70, and then rounding out the top 10, Fulmer and Sofa. So a lot of names we've seen before in the gauntlets. Also shoutouts to Defy and Big Saucy for working their way, bumping into the top 10 in the last closing hours. Now, don't forget, queues started at 4 p.m. Eastern. It is now 7:20 p.m. Eastern, 4:21 Pacific time now, as it just turns over, which means we have about like 9-10 more minutes for those matches to finish up. So the leaderboard not final yet.
Right.
Somebody could come out and take it away, but Aspect and Animal putting themselves in a very good spot.
That's right, man. And we still have plenty of action to go here. We're going to be hopping back into games and have to see how things develop. But, man, it is coming down to the wire. I think back in the Scallywag Cup, we actually did Animal and Aspect win. Then they came in first, right? No, or both, yeah, Scallywag, Blackheart, and then Lux.
I believe, I'm trying to think.
That was a long time ago.
I think they did end up taking away the East. I know they didn't end up winning West, but we're going to jump right on back into it. 38 players remaining, 21 duos. You have Crazy Icon, Nick at 4 elims. I'm Crazy at 3. Rob, Knight at 3. I'm Poppy at 2, and Red at 2.
Man, and we are, keep in mind, guys, what's something we want to talk about and just reiterate, this is finals for the Luxe Cup. So not only these players have to qualify through contenders, make it through qualifying yesterday, make it then here to finals, facing off against the top 3,000, 1,500 duos in their respective region. They're still trying to close it out and net themselves points. There you see the format on the right side of your screen, 12, 7, 3, and victory all placements. Each elimination is worth 1 point. We're near Sunny Steps in this game, and if you're new and you've never kind of like tuned in, welcome. This is a weird, different format, and then we're hopping into Circle 4 and or 5 and beyond. So we're just getting right into the action.
We really are trying to cover all of the late game rotations, the super high end part where all the eliminations end up happening in these super dense circles. That means we're skipping the zones, we're skipping the drops, we're skipping those early rotations, we're skipping all the hitting the trees and the bricks, and we're just seeing people rotate and fire shots at each other.
So, you know, we don't even get to see the bus driver. We don't get to thank the bus driver, but listen, in our heart of hearts, we did. But now it is Circle 5, that half-in, half-out circle, and we're moving away from Sunny Steps. Now keep in mind, just like we saw in that format, it's top 12 is that first placement threshold. So this is where we see the game slow down. We kind of talk about this a lot, because for a lot of these guys, this is their last opportunity to make points, to make it into those top places for the money. So we're going to see things slow down. You don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, you don't want to be eliminated 13th. Because that's right there, you miss out on the points. But right here, Crazy Iconic has gone down. He has 5 eliminations. Oh, Caminus gets cracked! And
great edit play right there, and gets the edit back to clean it up. The opponent is still right there looking to get the other shot. Knows he has the right hand, wants to try and find a way to pick up Crazy Iconic. Actually gets the edit out, is trying to bait that player into the revive, but knows he's directly above. Tries to sneak the shot in, but as the storm is moving, so no time to pick up Crazy Iconic. It's going to be all about educational Moose trying to take this one home as he disengages from the situation. Usually on the launch pad, and whoo! That Tracer one going right under his armpit there.
Look at all this happening. There are so many people. Let's hop into Just Illegal and his duo partner, Fnatic Motor. The kid's looking okay. You know, 2 half shields, pretty dope, but aside from that, not much in the way of utility. Words are so hard for me sometimes. 33 players, 20 remain in the duo. There's a supply drop in play right now.
Yeah, there is a supply drop in play, and jumping on board with just Illegal 6 and Fnatic Motor. This is two of the boys playing from across the pond. EU's just trying to get a little bit of reps in, seeing how well they can do. No problem there, as he's able to get a great edit shot out. Can they combine and pick up and convert it into Elam? They do. R4-3, G3 Dank, yeah, Rage Dank going down there. Trevi directly above him, another super solid controller player we saw from the Winter Route. You do have Harrians and Zoof players who have been around for a long time, hanging out there on the ultimate low ground. And you see Red, 144 builds, decent amount of utility, a pretty healthy baller as well.
Yep. So now we're going to see him turn around and drop those stink bombs, cracking 3 different players. Now keep in mind, stink bombs is straight health damage, all right? Even if you have a 100 shield, doesn't matter, it's going to punch straight through. When he finds Educational Moose, I'm sorry, you've graduated, you must move on.
You must move on and back to the lobby, missing out on any of those placement points. So the early rotation not quite going to pay off there. Red looking to find a safe rotation with the baller, utilizing that grapple aspect to launch himself up, and now getting towards the near side. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those ballers moving towards that side, wanting to grasp onto the tree, going a little too far there, but just trying to hang out and not make themselves too apparent. You see them generally wanting to hang from some of these trees, but they can sometimes be ornaments that you just want to swipe down. There's so many players in the sky right now, Zeke.
There's so many. Take a look there. We see Fulmer and his dual partner there as well. We're still at 18. Okay, we need another 6 duels to fall before we get those valuable placement points. That is 3. Rob Knight going down to Arkham. And Arkham just finding a bunch of eliminations. Reload as well. 168 to that guy's face. Good day, sir. Boyle keeping it strong right now.
Yeah, we've talked about Boyle's prowess in these close quarters situations, particularly his ability to clutch up endgame, and he shows it off again there as Zoof is able to get another Elim. Boyle dropping into that recycled rift, going up in the sky. You have the complexity duo of Hogman and Macwood. They were the ones to actually take home that first Scallywag Cup on East, stealing it away at the last second. Just reminding that now as they're into this late game, going through that middle ground tarp rotation, Fulmer and Sofa, great shots coming down, tracking that player through, but not quite able to get the tick off, dropping an RPG up towards the high ground, trying to knock down whoever he can as he gets that reload off and finds a great knock onto Macwood.
Macwood, Colonel Hogman's dual partner going down. Now Fulmer and Sofa continuing to try and take away high ground, but this is it, man. He has no builds.
And yes, we are into the top 12 now as well.
Fulmer and Sofa. We need to find some match. You need to shut someone down. Maybe like Blue T down below. Hogman, you know he's by himself because you picked off his dual partner. Blue T does have that heavy sniper. Some plays could be made.
And also has 6 dynamite as well for when this circle ends up settling. We are in circle 7, closing into circle 8 right now. It's going to move pretty much immediately back over. Yep, there it is as it resettles. So now Blue T looking to find the player as he rotates. He's known to make plays in this situation. Will he find it? Holding the right hand, but he knows he's there. Arkham ends up getting picked off. Great patience from Blue T, pushing himself close to the top 7, Zeke.
And he just handed Blue T that right angle, and it was Blue T all the way. He drops down low. Again, at 7 is the next threshold for placement. Oh my god! That was the most disgusting flick I've seen all day, but unfortunately, Blue T gets picked off. Fulmer and Sofa still in play. They're going to crack Dom there and continue their reign of terror on this lobby. 7 people remain, 4 of them being duos. Sundown, this is getting hectic so quickly. The guys are there, sending them a little higher up along the way.
Yeah, need to be careful about that. We've talked about how it can actually end up being a detriment when you get into these tighter circles. As you can see now, the player gets pinned. There's nothing you can do. We're now forced over the geyser, but the players landing right away will have the advantage as they can catch those players not able to act. Famhook gets picked up. Great shotgun work here from Fulmer, putting on a clinic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Will he find the last? Yes, he does. 11 eliminations coming out from Fulmer and Sofa. That's 21 points. Utilizing and knowing how to play around that geyser, opting to immediately dive down, get to the other side, and then punish all of the other players trying to go back over it.
Dude, that was sick. Their rifling skills there were just absolutely dirty. There's no need to build. It's just everyone. We're going to see who can land the shots, and Fulmer lands them all. Victorial heading over to them, but now we shift gears. Next game on deck. Let's hop on in. 27 players remain, 16 duos. Again, guys, this is it. We've wrapped up the queue times. These are these players' last opportunity to get points. Rux here. Is it Rux or Rue?
excuse me, I've been going with Rue because that's how it's spelled out. But I'd love for you to correct us if we are wrong, because I don't think you've ever definitively said either way. I've gone with Rue because generally X's like to be silent. But that being said, we have Legitl 5 or Legitl V at 4 elims as well. Vex QFN at 2, aim key at 2, and then JJ Vizolani, not JJ Vision. Thank you for calling that one out for us at 2 as well, giving you the proper shout out. But Sprat looking to find somebody with that legendary heavy sniper here. 27 players in the lobby, 16 duos left, Zeke.
That's right. And just very quickly touching on something, there's a lot of returning veteran players, and there's even more new faces. So if you see yourself on stream and we pronounce your name wrong, just send us a tweet. Be like, hey, this is how you pronounce my name, because we want to celebrate with you. We want to give you the credit. And that's a 157? Okay, it was 107. Just kidding. Because that player should have definitely gone down. But great shot there. Damien with 2 eliminations. I like their loadout. They've got the utility. They've got the heavy sniper. I'd be curious to see what Damien has, because depending on what his loadout is, they could potentially run double snipe combo.
They could, or just utilizing a snipe into RPG, or even fast rifle fire. We've seen that be effective. But look at this zone, Zeke. That's such a long and tough rotation for a lot of these players.
Ooh, recycled utility. You love to talk about at Sundown. That is a free rotation happening, and now they're going to challenge these players in the close. Is there a trap that comes out? Aim key gets cracked, and now I'm sorry, I cannot even. Sprat. Man, words, I've never learned how to read. Finds an elimination, even more minis to his name. The question is, where's Damien? Never mind, answered for me right here in front of me.
Yeah, directly in front of him, able to get together. Interesting enough, not able to pick up the double snipe combo like we were talking about. So either he already has it, or they just didn't have time to close it. But you see all these players trying to get up there. As Sprat gets cracked in the back, down to 50 effective HP. Does have 8 minis, so if he can get a second to reset, nope, unfortunately going to go down as Benny picks him up there. But Domo immediately trades back out onto Benny. Grenade will start dropping people down, but is he able to cover his teammate? Is that Damien?
It is not. Damien is up on his left.
Oh, okay, so he's good then, never mind. He is going to get picked up as he moves and rotates out of the storm there. You have JJ Vizolani utilizing the baller, as now the rotation is going to move back over Viking Village. So a little bit of an interesting movement here, but not too difficult, as Benny does finally confirm on that elim. Diggy also getting the knock on to Red Asian TV there, or Red Assassin TV there. Apologies. No problem picking that one up as we get closer into the top 12 situation. Great shot coming out from Vec there, able to convert as Native gets knocked. Looking for the next one, but traded right back out by Dole.
Things just happen. This is the way of the road, as we know some of our favorite people in the world to talk about it. But taking a look, we are heading over Viking that is, not quite resembling the boat still there, but that's, it is what it is. Look at all these players scrambling to make sure they can make it to safety. One gets dropped down. One more duo needs to fall, and we hit top 12 placements points divvied out.
And Root did actually get picked up there, as Fable Taco is now starting to kind of ramp his way out. There isn't a ton of high ground there to be given up, as Dole does get picked up. Everyone getting those 3 placement points from it there. When will the ballers? Yep, I was just about to say, when will players stop allowing them to just roll around, knowing they will have the mat advantage in that late game? As Legit gets picked up, Poison Trap is going to go off, so he has to convert. That's very good. So if he didn't get that, he would have been guaranteed to go down. He needs to not take any chip, and I think he thinks he has to take a siphon. No, he's good. Knows that's not going to end up going off, so not too stressed right now. Just, one shot from most things, and trying to get a chug
this is a commitment.
Nope, okay.
I was going to say.
Swap over the minis, as Soggets is now rotating through. 9 duos remaining, 8 duos remaining, as Soggets picks up Jinsey. 12 players left in the match, Zeke.
Wow, he had enough time to drop that player and loot with the dynamite. He's going to stand on top of it. Every build being cracked down low, finds Fable Taco. His duo has gone down. He still has 1 more dynamite left to play with, Sundown. He has options.
He does have options, but it's really probably going to come down to the pump.
Damien?
You see Damien just kind of hanging out.
Damien?
No, he's good. He's not stressing. He knows what's up. He wants to get the ultimate logo, because all of these other players are going to have to rotate off of the side, and he's good. He's now firing shots off as they have to waterfall down to him. This is a pretty strong position, assuming he can actually get control and convert on any of these elims, as Lana gets dropped all the way down. Top 4 duos, 5 players remaining. Next placement point happens in top 3, so Damien says, all right, I'm going to jump back in my baller.
Man, they have let him just sneak on by. I like that he still has it. So he the thing is though is now he can use this if he hops out. Okay, never mind. They're not going to give him the opportunity. Good, shut him down. He's going to hop back out. I don't even know where this other pairing is, Sundown. I think they're up on top. Okay, so JJ Visalani, Shades here, and Damien. Soggy's Love. I can't even read that. It happened so fast. Shades get dropped. Okay, Visalani versus Damien.
Yes, will he be able to close it out? And Damien does. Gets it done. What a brilliant play from him there, realizing the early rotation down the low ground was going to end up being the most efficient, using the baller to save his mats, and then being able to convert from the low ground. Very well done by him there. It's so hard to be able to do that and to put all the pieces together and then clutch it out at the end from the low ground. I mean, hats off to you, man.
Absolutely, but action never stops. We never get to sleep. Hopping into next game, General here with Blue Tea still on the rise, a.k.a. Ziff in first place with 5 elims. That's right, I just made that joke. Pyro, Void with 4 eliminations. Lavish here with 3. Bruzzy with 3 as well, and Bumboy with 2. Those are your elimination leaders in the current lobby. We've got 40 players remaining, 21 duos. You know that means that we need to make it a top 12. Another 8. Wait. Did I just do that math wrong in my head? I did, actually. Another... Anyway, we're going to just move on. No one pay attention to me!
Not multiples
no one
of
pay
10,
attention
Zeke,
to me!
You know better. Jumping on board here with Enigma Fight and Shotang to start it off. Circle 4 is now finally closing in. You could take a look at the bottom right-hand corner. Pretty much everyone has crowded in here. Only 2 solo riders hanging out there, but otherwise everyone has a buddy, and we're getting towards the end. Lots of big names here. Tristan Hip and Jamies, Blue Tea, General, Shotang, Enigma Fight, Lavish, Bucky. These are all players who are in that money, pressing towards that top 30. They want a chance want a chance to be able to press higher up, to get more into the money, to get more of the prizes, and to just say, hey, I beat you in that last match. You know, I pushed myself that much higher, and I was able to capitalize.
That's right, man. Bragging rights for days, at least until World Cup time, which is right around the corner. April 13th and 14th, open qualifiers begin, and that's what all this is leading up to. The road to the World Cup. Now, here's the question, Sundown. I want to know where we're going from here. I need to see this new circle, because we're stuck right now on Viking. But the question is, if we go back up and down this mountain, this could spell disaster for a lot of these people, a lot of these players, based on where their position is.
Yeah, Neferuk's not going to mind about it too much as he's utilizing that baller. We see that's kind of one of the big advantages for the late rotation, as you also have Aspect and Animal in this lobby. So huge leaderboard implications as the rift goes off. But we are going further up on the mountaintop, Zeke, right now. So it's interesting to see. You're going to basically get the maximum vertical height, but the question is, do we start moving around the sides as we saw last time, or do we just stay around this top?
You know, I hope that it is as crazy as possible, because I want to see more crazy things happen. A lot of these players, as you can see, bottom right there, triangle's moving very quickly. That means they've opted to rift or launch pad and utilize utility to get safe quickly. Enigma Fi and Shutang here, maintaining the highest of the high ground, where Pyro, Stony, and Bambi, they're on the left side of your screen. There was a supply drop that is in play. Maybe people will pick it up, just depends on whether they feel it's valuable to them or not. You see General there on the center of your screen. There's still so many people left to potentially make that top 12 spot. 8 more duos need to fall. Now with Blue Tea, this guy, I mean, we've seen so much of this dude.
Yeah, but look at the circle. Look at the bottom right hand. We're going all the way off the mountain and over to Snobby. So the big thing here is this is circle 6 that is end up going to move. Where circle 7 ends up going is massive, because the players who then tarp out here might be able to go back over. But if you commit to going to low ground, you're going to put yourself in such a rough spot to get back up the mountain afterward.
That's right, man. It's almost time to start him move. Here we go. Circle has started moving. That's what that sound is, and now everyone begins to make their mad dash to safety. We hear Rift to Go's being enabled, so if you can, you could recycle that utility, find yourself rotating out. But again, this is what we kind of talked about. Depends on where we go from here. This is a decision players have to make. Do I stay on this high ground, tarp out, in which case I have a great option back? Or if we even go farther north, they have to waterfall down and they burn all those mats. Bamhood getting cracked as he gets knocked down. We see Blue Tea reloading the RPG. This is good that he's got it fresh, because now he can rotate around. He can look to just surprise someone as they're trying to make it into safety. You see Famhood there. He just downed him. He's just going to let him go just in case.
that Siphon can come through and just top him back off if he doesn't get hurt. Caliber here, flying on down. We're back in with Blue T. So again, just watch. He does have that rocket launcher. He can look to make a play.
But Davon there picking up Bumboy, also known as V Ethan. That's huge for Davon, knocking those guys out, but then also being able to get their resources because they had a ton of mats that were down there. So if he's able to get those, that'll be huge. But also seeing Tristan, Hip, and Jammies controlling just above that ultimate low ground. Now, where that next circle going is huge, as you have Lavish and Bucky rotating away right now, and we're going further away. So good. Not back over the top of the mountain, but towards another one, which is going to make the next circle tough. As you see Ronaldo pick up Elims. Lots of Elims going down there. Lavish getting picked up as well. But Funk and Nate Hill just trying to hang out, now opting to dive down and get themselves established, seeing that all the other players are as well. Can they find anything here? One of the players is down, but that is not their pick. Trying to get control over those walls and convert onto that. Honestly, I would pick that up and get whatever resources you can at this point and just try and cash in, even if it's not your Elim credit. Enigmify going down there. 18 duos remaining, 28 players.
Nate Hill has just been knocked down, and unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get picked up. Yeah, he's just going to fall to the storm as Funk continues trying to pick up as many Elims as possible. He's going to try and dip down, but Bruzzy is going to secure him.
Yeah, and we talked about how difficult it can be when you're pinned against the wall and the other player-based buildings are there. Sometimes you can't get moved. It's incredibly unfortunate. That's why you want to make sure you're getting up there way ahead of time or not letting yourself slide in that position. As Tristan Hip picks up keys, Davon able to get Hornet there. There is just a rift chilling, but we've seen what happens when we're this narrow, Zeke, and you rift up.
That's right. It is like shooting fish in a barrel. Psycho Loves You goes down here. Blue T finding that. Now the question is, man, how many more can Blue T continue to pick up? There's a bunch of eliminations still sitting on the table. His dual partner himself, he gets cracked from above, but here we go. That elimination he just dropped comes through, and now he tops back off with the Siphon,
which is huge as those stinks are coming through and going to put a lot of pressure on him, getting 25 damage sticks. Baller right next to him, so opting to put down some traps, but those are going to get popped up as you have Stony picking up Stretch there. Conjuring's also still in it, one of the young lords, but Blue T dropping straight down into the fight. Launchpad back up, bonks his head. That was a little disorientating. I'm surprised he was able to cover himself. Can he find the Elim? He gets it. Voyle getting knocked, needs to get the conversion back up to 95 there, and now we're in the top 7, Zeke.
This is absolutely crazy. Blue T just did some of the craziest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Davin still holding up the high ground. Tristan, look at all these players down below.
But look how strong the mountain is, going so good, and what the players are now looking for is to just get whatever tags they can on those players because they want the Elim credit as they're forced to go up. It's a 2v1. Conjurings and Davon have the advantage. They see the player is directly above him, and he does go down. We talked about it, you know, the mountains win again. We went off the side of Viking, back around, and then came back over it. Very difficult to navigate, but well done by Conjurings and Davon.
And that's going to be a nice victory royale heading over to them. Keep in mind, guys, we're wrapping up games as we begin to conclude NA East, crown ourselves 2 champions of the region for the Luxe Cup, but action never stops. Moving on to Perfect Tilt and Mastoris in their game. Let's hop in and see how many players remain. 33 right now, 18 duos. Your elimination leaders there on the right side of your screen. Clicks on YouTube, Mastoris being one of them, Arkham 1X, RBK Reloads, and Perfect Tilt as well. So these guys doing pretty well in this game right now.
Doing very well, sitting on 6 Elims with still 30 other players left in the lobby, 18 duos, so almost there into the placement points. Needs 6 more to drop off, but again, they were a team who was challenging. I think they were 4th last time we checked the leaderboard, and that's a big example why. We've talked about the heavy sniper and its ability to create picks. Can they find the second one as they're raining shots and trying to slip something through? They do have a rift to go if they want to get real aggro, but I don't think they burn it here. They're trying to utilize the heavy sniper plus the assault rifles to not let the player get off a revive, but I think it's going to end up coming out, so not going to get anything from that as we pan over and see who else is in this match. Taking a look, we have Miho J and Clicks down there. Clicks, somebody you want to keep an eye on. He shows up every single week, whether it's solos or duos, and has some form of play. But Cypher right now pinned against the side of the storm, and this is a very dangerous position. We talk about once you get into that firing tunnel, how difficult it is to get the rotation off of you. He is pinned against the storm, has a lot of players trying to keep him out, and is down to utilizing his metal, so needs to be careful here. They're looking for a double snipe play. Yep, they're looking for it. Lining it up right here. 1, 2. Yep. Saw that coming. Clicks, no problem picking it up there. And unfortunate for Cypher that he was knocked out 5 spots short. But we talked about it. You go to be a loot goblin, you put yourself in that same position. 1, 2, 3, 5 damage ticks, 4 clicks there. Already on 7 elims. MiHoJay on 0. So 7 points, but trying to get into that top 12.
Man, and they still have quite a ceiling left. There's so many eliminations on the table for them, depending on how they opt to rotate. Let's take a look at the kit. The heavy snipe, again, going to punch through builds. Oh, man, that player hop. That would have been definitely a player sent back to the lobby had they not. Give me that little bunny hop. Little bunny hop just to ensure not being eliminated. That was a straight-up whiff. It's okay. Listen, Clicks. Slow down. Deep breath. Line it up.
Looking for the composure here, wants to be able to find those shots. It does have MiHoJay walking his back so he can take it. They do still have those double heavy snipers, but you also have Ghoul and 72 in the middle. Falter in there. Great snipe onto Vivid. You can't poke out, you can't gargoyle up like that and be one on the watchtower. They're going to drop him down, put him out into the open, and then find him converting over onto that. But MiHoJay also takes a snipe shot there. They're going to trade over some minis, 8 elims on them, and also taking out another one of the titans of the lobby.
Dude, that's got to do so much for their confidence. They've got to be feeling really good about that. And now the question is, can they convert this into a victory royale? We'll have to see, as there's still a bunch of players shoulder to shoulder right now. Now, the big question is, where are we going as far as the next safe zone? Because this could dictate, look at the mountain just very dangerously lurking in the background.
It's like, I'm here. Are we going to go back
Please.
over it? Let's come on. I want to get involved in the match as we do head kind of back over it and around it. You will be able to rotate around it, luckily, due to the circles kind of level where they are. Perfect tilt, looking to try and find another shot. Mastoris working with him as well. They're sitting on 6 elims between the two of them, so challenging up. Do see the clingers there as they go off. Wants to find a heavy sniper shot, but not quite able to convert onto it as you hear rifts and launch pads going off in the background.
Now, I want these guys to coordinate, right? Because we've seen these guys all day, all the time. Nice pickup on Tweak. I want to see some double snipe plays. I'm curious to see if Mastoris has a heavy sniper, but we're going to see a nice rotation here, utilizing that rotational mobility here in the launch pad. Are they going to go for the high ground take? Yes, they are, but they're... Nope, never mind.
Nope,
they're going to drop back down.
Yep, opting for the far side of the circle, taking the safer rotation, recognizing that high ground there wasn't going to be super valued because they weren't quite in the circle, and getting a good 29 damage shot off there. I would have swapped over the AR to get a little bit more either way to the damage fall off, but not going to complain about that as they're moving up to 7 elims. Now, WD and E11 Heart also on this low ground. Defy on the mid ground tarp. You have K's on the mid ground tarp with RBK reloads as well. Will he be able to find any amount of space? His duo, Mr. Mavs, has already gone down. He has a rocket launcher. Great double edit, but nothing doing there as the rotation is going to now start moving back over towards the variable terrain. Reloads ends up going down. Will he be able to get the conversion? Should tick to the storm. No revive is going to come out there, but perfect tilt and Mastoris are still hanging out on the low ground. Rift to go.
Dive down. The question is there follow-up? Has anyone else? There is so much follow-up. Oh my god, this is the caster curse we talked about. So now everyone is going to try and decide when is the best time to just straight up dive. Should we just hold out as long as possible, which right now seems like Mastoris and Perfect Tilt are just letting everyone else make their own decisions. Never mind. They're saying, Zeke, you don't know us. We're going to dive down right now. Can he get the little ledge there? He can build himself up to safety. Where is Mastoris? Up above.
As Clicks actually picks up 72 hours, so that means Vivid and 72 are going to miss out on placement points as Thrax picks up Goes to School. Thrax, another long-time competitive gamer, has been around multiple different scenes, showing up here in Fortnite, trying to see what else he can do, getting himself into top 10. 3 placement points there as Perfect Tilt and Mastoris kind of pinned against the storm here. Need to be careful. X Games Frat picking up MiHoJay, but Perfect Tilt picks up LP as he rotates through and gets the cleanup, putting himself up to now 93 mats. And then he finds the launch pad. Great recycle of the utility. No, he didn't fall off into space. Was able to connect with that. Now debating on whether to challenge high ground. Just misses getting onto it as Defy is able to pick up not 1, but 2 1v1s to clean up the high ground. This is madness. The 10 duos remaining. 16 players, everyone looking for a piece as we're getting towards the very end of NA East.
Wow, look, first of all, huge credit to these guys. They are dividing and conquering and even taking time to drop half shields for their teammate. And now, Tilt just finds another free elim. So the half shield is just extra. This is huge. These guys are just rolling this lobby right now. They're completely dominating it. They're going to see a 52, a follow-up, a whiff. Divine goes down. Now they have to build up. This is where things get so dangerous.
We've talked about this before. Sliding against the mountain, have your builds out preemptively. You can't get forced in. Perfect Tilt does get a conversion to get through. Hart and W. Dean on the mid-ground top have a lot of control. Kydra trying to play the gatekeeper right there. Does keep Perfect Tilt out. Gets the knock. Can he convert? 8 players remaining. 5 to 7 players remaining. 6 players remaining as Kydra cleans up Perfect Tilt, but then gets cleaned up himself. 2v2, v1, v1. They're looking for it right now. Hart and WD are in a great spot to take home the victory round. Not lighting up the Elim feed, but have put themselves in a key position and will they be able to convert here? Yes, they do. Mastoris goes down and Frat goes down as well. Those were the 2 solo parties. Now, Uvik and MySpace Dylan on ultimate high, Hart and WD in ultimate low and mid tarp.
That was huge for Hart. He had little to no build and now finds himself some. Dylan and Uvik continuing to lay down pressure from above. This is a 2v2. This is going to be a really strange situation, especially in how tight the space is moving down this little baby hill. I think, is Uvik going to just commit to a heal? No, he's dropping down. It scared me.
He has to drop down. Hart actually has the HP advantage, so it's going to come down who can get the knock and then who can convert the HP.
It's a trade!
No. So what Dean needs to just convert at the right time. He just needs to get the cleanup and then not worry about Dylan, which he's not. Yes, he's not going to be able to do it. Dylan actually got the shot back out. So rather than chasing Dylan, what he need to do there is go find the confirm onto Uvik for the bonus health. Yep. Don't try and chip the other player out. Just get what was yours. The other player was looking to run away, so unfortunate Dean wasn't able to clean that one up, but well played from Uvik to be able to take that one home and that last victory royale.
Absolutely. You know they're feeling really good after that victory royale. 10 points in placement on top of their elimination points. We're getting down to it, Sundown. We're getting ready and closer to crowning ourselves NA East champions. We are calculating final standings as we speak, but my beep boop beep boop. But my oh my, also I got water droplets in my eyes, so I'm not gonna blink as much. Boom, they got me. Eye drops. Thanks, production. You guys are the best. But yeah, we're getting ready. I know. I just want to go ahead and address. I like to be open and vulnerable with my internet family. All right, we are one family. Feel free to make fun of me. It's fine. But yeah, man, it's time to begin tallying. I mean, so what do you think? Like, it's hard to say if things are going to shift. We see a lot of these players kind of drop these big point games, but is that enough to put them in the money, right? Is that enough to shift everyone else?
So generally we end up seeing that earlier on because of the matchmaking system. As you get more points, you're matched against the players with points closer to you. Then those explosive games, while they mean more later on because you can get big jumps, they're that much harder to execute on, and you don't get it without taking a bunch of risks, which makes it even that much harder. Basically, a lot of things have to fall your way. So I don't expect to see too much shift towards the very top, but maybe around like 5 to 10 or so, there'll be a couple of changes because that was a lot more particularly packed. But I think we have a winner, Zeke.
That's right. It is time to showcase our winner. The NA East champions for the Luxe Cup are none other. Okay, he put the crown on. Are none other. Oh, you want to say? Okay. Sen Aspect and Sen Animal. 10 matches played, 2 victory royales, average elims at 6.4, and average placement of 21.2. Animal, we saw him last week showing up in the Blackheart Cup, and as a dynamic duo, they say, hey, NA East, we the best.
Yeah, no problem for them. We've talked about them being around the scene for a long time. The duo from Sentinel, and they are high-volume eliminators in a lot of the circumstances, but not taking away from them, topping EU in terms of the number of victory royales, coming out with 2. Average placement of 21.2. To me, it seems like they probably tried to max out a bit on their matches played, probably had 1 or 2 where they hot dropped and went for some quick elims. But let's take a look at how the rest of the top 10 ended up shaking out. You had Mastoris and Perfect Tilt with 88, just 9 points short of the top. So fairly big difference there considering EU went a number of tiebreakers deep. You have Pika in Rue at 84, Nate Hill in FaZe Funk Bomb as well, 81. Lavish and Bucky, top 5. Well done to you, breaking 80 points. Angel XD 20 and Krusty HD at 79. Forwards Nolan and Tendon springing up there to 75. NC Canada and Sip at 74. Bizzle Demo at 74 as well. And then Av and VCS Happy at 74.
That's right, but don't forget there are even more people that placed in the money. Anthony and Joseph there in 11th. Cease and Elevate, both 100 Thieves members. By Revy on Twitch and Twitch, not Panda, not a panda. There you go, information. Defy and FAFSA, Big Saucy, Fulmer and Sofa there in 15th. Jamper, Paper, 7 and 16th. Gandhi, and Teza, E11 Agalor and LG Aragon. Code Genesis TV and Not Janik there in 19th. And finally rounding out 20 is Dyslexic, Go Wacky, and Lance
and Go Foolish.
Okay, yeah,
Go Wacky and Go Foolish up
Those
there.
are long
and
names.
it's the top 30 who will round it out. You got Cloaksy and Tfue sliding in there, 67 points. Soggy's Loves LT, Domo FN, Jacobaki in there as well with OD. I think it's Odd-Nied in there. High Sky and Commandant, Chaotic and Nosh, Bam and Stony of Pyro, Innocence and Assault of Ghost, the 2 controller players we talked about. Ryan and Uzi getting up into the money as well. TJ and Zipfa, and then finally in that 30th spot, Imp Moose and Legit ALV. Well done to everyone placing inside that top 30. Congratulations to you. That's incredibly impressive among the top 3,000 players, top 1,500 duos in the North American East region. And what amazing gameplay.
Absolutely. To be able to say, hey, look, I was this place within NA East for the region, huge bragging rights. And again, this is all leading up to the Fortnite Open qualifiers, the World Cup Open qualifiers, rather, coming around the corner April 13th and 14th. So expect to see a lot of these players come back and make a reappearance. I'm really excited to see people like Pika and Rue, right? Like, I at least started seeing them with the Scallywag, Blackheart, and this. And now it's just like, oh my gosh, they're just like, we're just going to keep doing it. We're always going to be top 5, no problem at all. So,
well, and one thing that's super interesting to me is that's our first time seeing Tfue and Cloaksy really kind of grab this format, take advantage of it, and start to learn it. And I'm going to be really interested to see how much that really gets advanced on, because I think they're 2 players where if they can figure out their game plan around this, they do have high volume of eliminations. They can play for late. They can put the 2 together. They can also hot drop and go for elim. So if they do get the right game plan, I think it wouldn't be ridiculous to see them constantly challenging for top 10, if not top 5, on all of these leaderboards. It's just about finding what works best for them in this type of format, because this is different. That's part of the reason we're seeing a lot of new players rise up. It's a different set of skills that's required to do this, but it's still very much so competitive, because we're seeing not only a consistent result from a lot of players, but also players able to challenge their way up, have really good days, and go through. It's really impressive.
Absolutely. Well, that concludes NA East. But don't you even fret, because we still have all of NA West to cast and a bunch of finals and crown another set of champions. With that, we're going to go to a break. When we return, NA West on deck. Welcome back, Fortnite fam. I'm Zeke, and this is Golden Boy, and welcome back to the Luxe Cup. Now, before we hop into things, we very quickly need to address something. It's been brought to our attention that there's an inconsistency in the ruling for tiebreakers in client and on the website. Because of that, we're going to be awarding both teams, Mitro and his dual partner Mongrel, and Osmo and Milan first place prizing. We're also going to go back through everyone else and make sure that it has not impacted anyone else. If it has, we will correct it.
That's right. Thank you guys so much for always keeping us honest, letting us know these things. We're always going to continue to iterate and improve as we move forward into the Fortnite World Cup. So once again, always keep the communication out there, and you know, everyone's going to keep looking at it. So with that being said, it's now time to move on to our North American West portion of the competition. I said portion. And it is starting at 7 p.m. So that means that we're already in the thick of things.
That's right.
Back in all times are listed in Eastern time, right? So right now we're here in LA, and as it currently stands, yeah, we're in the thick of it. We're in the skinny. Well, let's look at how this whole thing works out, right? Because each elimination is going to award you 1 point. It's different from what you've seen in previous events. And then when you reach the top 12, you're going to get 3 points. From there, every time you hit a new plateau, right? Top 7, top 3, and then if you eventually get the victory royale, all those points will be added. So you get 3, 2, 2, and then 3 for a total of 10. And then whatever points you accrue from your eliminations. And we're going to be looking at the action in a very different way. If you're joining us for the first time, we're going to be jumping into the fun with all the different games taking place at around the 5th or 6th circle.
4th or 5th.
4th or 5th, excuse me. That's why he doesn't, I don't. 4th or 5th circle. So we're just going to see nothing but endgame.
That is right. It's super awesome, and these are some of the games we'll be hopping into and spectating. And honestly, this could be you. If you are playing right now in the Luxe Cup Finals, we could be hopping into your game, checking out some of your dope 360 no-scope backflips. Yeah, we could be. Now, here's the thing. This is all leading up to the road to the World Cup. So if you think you could compete, try and qualify, hit Contenders Cup, work your way up through the qualifiers, and who knows, it could be you on the stage of the Fortnite World Cup. Moving on, though, let's take a look at the prize breakdown coming out of NA West top 10 duos. Keep that in mind. So basically the top 20 players, well, I guess the top 10 duos is a better way to say it, will be placing in that money. Just like you said, Golden Boy, we're already in the thick of it, so we're not going to waste any more time. Let's get ready to hop into our first game so far. And this is we're doing this a little bit differently, right? We're hopping into the replays of these games as they are basically going on. So it's not quite live, but going on.
No.
And here we go. Game time. Let's get it.
God, he should get fired.
Don't give anyone any ideas.
Oh, I hope Tim's not watching.
You're right. Hopping into this first game, 29 people left, 16 duos, elimination leaders there on the right side of your screen. Why did I say scream? I can't talk today. It's been a long, almost 8-hour cast. Yeah, we're gonna keep on trucking on. But there you go. Elimination leaders on the right side. Tommy and Chef Cap tied with 5. GXB Finn with 3. TTV Optify with 3, who is also tied with TTV. Such a clutch! All with 3 eliminations respectively. 25 seconds left before the circle starts to move, and we're going to be hopping in to circle 5. Okay, sinkers. Well, Exodus Magus, you unfortunately smelt it.
And look at the way Chef Cap is wrapping around this right side here and just continuing to apply that pressure, get in their face, try and see if they can pick up these eliminations. Magus is going to be out of this one, and that was such a great use there of the heavy snipe, removing the brick flooring, and then laying down a shot onto that unsuspecting player here. And that player is going to be in a bit of a difficult position. We'll kind of like to see that player try and get out of like this layer and go above them. And
he's trying.
Yeah, and so exactly, like, because you just do not want to be in that scenario. You know that one of them has a heavy snipe, so there's no reason for you to continue to hang out on that layer. Just try and see if you can get away from that.
Yeah, I feel like Passive actually should have just reloaded his sniper rifle, the heavy snipe, the whole time, because both of them are kind of like trying to punch through that build. Just take the 4 seconds, reload the weapon. As your teammate's already trying to break through, then you can break through. Maybe you'd pick that up, but unfortunately, the little fish gets away.
Replay goes away from the fight there, Zeke, and we'll end up running into some other players. I don't know if you saw it at the left of your screen, so that won't be the nicest thing for replay, but we'll still stick with Passive and Cap. We have 7 eliminations right now, so a good run for them thus far.
That's right. We're hopping into NA West, and things are just kicking off. That's why we've seen a little bit less dense circles, but as we kind of move out, these will be far more dense, upwards of 40 people in a lobby. This is a nice little pirate base everyone's decided to land on. That's why we saw the cannon down there in the bottom left. There's still quite a bit of people. You see Replay. This is the guy that they were chasing before. You talked about it. He's left, and I think he's probably going to be picked up by the duo, who he's just unfortunately come across. We still have 15 duels remaining, so 3 need to fall before we hit those first ball placement points.
Yeah, that was a downed player up ahead. I was way more impressed than I needed to be at that scenario.
You're like, wow, he saw a pixel.
Yeah, because I didn't see that. But then again, the screen's like pretty far from us, and I'm blind, which doesn't help me at all.
Well, you know, it's okay.
I don't know if you saw in the action feed, Such a Clutch was eliminated, one of our Elim leaders, when we jumped into this game. Exodus never mind. Exodus Replay, I was supposed to say like, hey man, good job, you're still alive. And Job takes care of it.
Caster Curse in full effect. Now we hop over to...
Job or Jeb? I don't know now. JXB, what would you say? Jeb or Job?
JXB, that would be an A, right?
Or
Jeb.
No, Jab?
Jab. Oh, X is silent. That's unknown. So it's JB.
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
know.
No.
I don't know.
Wait, no X is silent?
That's what
The
Sundown
X is a
said.
replace-
I'm just reiterating.
Oh,
listen,
that's true.
If we say your name wrong, please just shoot us a tweet and say, hey, I am this person, at Golden Boy, at Zegamus Prime, at Sundown. This is how you pronounce our name.
Please
we
stop
promise
butchering
you.
my name.
Yes, and then say, like, you know, this is how we pronounce it. We promise we'll get it clarified. We want to celebrate these awesome moments with you and with all of the community. These guys sitting on 5 eliminations between them,
You saw, by the way, one of those players rocking the new Night Witch skin. Pretty awesome skin. I just picked that up.
I know. You were like, should I get this? And I was like, did you see the
I
back bling?
ended up buying both of them.
I did too. I bought the whole set. I do it every time.
I have a problem.
You should look at my account because I don't think you have a problem. I have the problem. I promise.
Yeah, actually, you were just right before we went live. You were just on the store. Like,
the new emote, okay? It's cool.
wait, which new emote came out?
It was the punching one. Check it out.
Okay.
One of the fun fact, one of the editors back home did mocap for it, and I know that person. That's why I knew he was coming. There you go.
Look at
yeah,
you.
so I had to pick it up. Was like, honor the friend. Anyway, keeping the high ground is Darko T, VN, Jazz T, while everyone else is scrambling to make their way into safety. Optify, I believe that was Optify, sorry, rather. In the ball, they're trying to navigate safely. We see Reliable maintaining the high ground. Now let's hop on down to the very lowest of the low ground and see what Sea Turtle is up to. He's taking the chug jug, taking the time.
Yeah, hopefully no one tries to force a way into his 1x1. That would be very unfortunate.
This is like a panic. Okay. This is how you can tell he's panicking because he's like constantly shifting around. No, is that a guy?
Wouldn't you be panicking, man?
I would.
You're surrounded by all these bodies and you need to just use this chug so that you don't go into a fight without a health lead. One's going to be right in front of him. Seth Turtle, still in this one. 0.